Or a place to trick or treat.
Yeah, man, but we went for that sweet, sweet sugar.
Did you hear that?
Hear what?
Whoa! Isaiah? Where'd she go? This place is
Welcome to the Speaking Sporadically Halloween Special.
He's the guy right in there. Right in there. The guy right. He's crying. How old is he?
After that, it's kind of up in the air. But
I trusted people before.
so,
No, it's not in the air.
Love.
take it away.
I can barely see out of this thing. I can barely talk to you. I'm like yelling pretty loud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds very muffled.
We're going to go with it.
Well, that's how hard we go, ladies and gentlemen, for our Halloween special.
Yes,
Welcome
sir.
back, episode 78. We're so freaking glad to have you guys back,
It's going to be a great one.
tuning in, listening.
It's
yeah.
gonna be phenomenal.
It's gonna be a heifer.
I really hope you guys are watching too.
Astronomical. I
Yeah.
got one up all you guys.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're able to watch, go
Please watch.
Even if you just
It's gonna be
read
so
through it.
much more worth it. We promise.
Yes.
We did a lot of work to decorate it up. We got costumes on. If you can't tell by my voice.
We got some famous faces in the room right now.
Let's run. Let's run. All right, we have that.
Purge background character 79.
Oh,
yeah, we have the old.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
No.
I took a shot.
Zac Efron, Ted Bundy movie. Go look him up.
Or just
I got a nice picture here.
Because he's right here.
Because he's right.
This is he's dressed as Zac Efron acting as Ted Bundy.
Vanessa Hudgens is not as good as she looks in like live person. Here we got.
All right.
Introduce yourself,
Yeah,
bro.
you.
No, we're just going to go out of order and just skip right
Yeah.
through.
Skip over you.
I
We got
apologize.
Jacob.
Well, you expected me to introduce you, and then you're like, all right, you can do it yourself. It's like, no, it's fine. I'll do it myself.
Okay, then.
Do I have to? All right, fine. No, I
3
was
seconds
kind
of silence.
I was trying to get you.
Just say it.
He said 3 seconds of silence.
I'm excited to get the average Joe. Come on.
This is my worst nightmare. All right. Oh, what am I? Oh, I'm McFly, Mr. McFly, Marty McFly,
The time traveler.
the time traveler.
Isaiah. Isaiah in the spotlight. Wait, what am I again? What am I wearing?
I got lost, dude.
Chokes under pressure.
That was my worst nightmare. Social awkwardness.
All right, anyways, go ahead, Jacob.
I am Mr. Walter White.
And
About a year and a half out from his cancer death.
I am Average Joe's from Dodgeball. I got their jersey on, headband.
The whole team.
What are these even called?
Arm sleeve.
Wristbands.
These are just wristbands?
You're acting like you never made a 2K
No,
player.
sweatbands.
Sweatbands.
Dude,
Just
I
sweatbands.
was
Sweatbands.
on
Sweatbands.
2K with all of them.
Oh,
Elbow pads,
no.
wristband,
Oh, yeah,
headband, glasses. You always had to go all out on those.
I swear. I can't look at Devin straight right now.
No question.
I'm ready to
about it.
take this thing off, but I got to wait just a little longer.
Yeah.
I think that's... Who's at the door?
What the?
Heller?
Oh!
You know you guys aren't supposed to say trick or treat when you're giving us candy,
Yeah,
right?
it's supposed to be the other way around.
Fruity snacks. Wait, I don't like. Do you want to trade? Yo,
These are pretty bad, but
A Halloween miracle.
Halloween.
it is a Halloween miracle. Yeah, can I have
Somebody
these?
actually grabbed fruit snacks. What were you doing?
Oh.
All right, I'm taking this
Ignore
off.
that. Hey, you moved
that's
the bowl.
much better.
throw me your
Yeah, you guys
mask.
can sit down right there, and then there's that other chair.
I might have to take.
Yeah, join
I
us.
might have to take the wig off too.
Actually,
Yeah,
I didn't.
that's fine.
Yeah, you can get on the couch if you want to try.
Wherever you want.
Suck the
Wherever you
deal.
want. If you want to squeeze, that's
took my
good.
It's more warm. I'm so cold in this.
Oh man, such a good day.
Yes.
It's such a good vibe because earlier today when we planned on doing our Christmas special, so obviously
Halloween.
No,
yeah,
it's
Halloween. It's not
Halloween,
Christmas
sorry.
quite yet.
my mind's in the future, so look out. Before we go any farther, too, make sure you guys go down below, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment about what your favorite thing about the Halloween season is. Our Instagram is speaking_sporadically, and our TikTok is speaking sporadically. All the good things, you know what to do.
Yeah,
But,
it means a ton
yeah.
for us guys if you
does.
subscribe. So thank you so much for that. Leave a nice comment. Or a mean one. Preferably not a mean one.
I mean,
If you're
it's up to you.
interacting,
Yeah.
we will take it.
But it's
If you're that new
comments though.
person that I just met that's in Indianapolis at the convention, you better watch this video.
He traveled so fast to get all the way over here from the convention. I would say that was so far.
Wait, should we introduce them then, or have them introduce themselves?
Yeah, here, pass.
I don't
Yeah,
know. Yeah, just say your names if you want.
you don't have to.
I'm Grant Poppelman.
Who are your parents?
My parents are Cohen Shan
He's
Poppelman.
a neighbor to the cabin.
Yeah.
To the cabin.
Yeah, yeah.
I have a
cabin
speech
real
impediment, so yeah.
Just
If you didn't
fun
notice.
fact.
and
One interesting thing about you.
yeah, just watch it.
Oh,
Let's do some icebreakers.
I can't say I. That's very interesting. I mean, I'd say.
Yeah, make sure we don't.
This feels like we're in class, first day of class. All right, stand up. What's your
We got some
name?
icebreakers,
Interesting thing
bro.
about yourself.
What's your Halloween costume?
A loser.
I
We'll take it. We'll take it.
shouldn't dress up as what you usually are, but
Skills USA.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
He's a
that's
tradesman.
good.
I thought that was obvious.
All right.
All right, I'm Jet, and I'm the one that brought them candy.
Yeah, he's.
Amen. Amen.
That's all you
That's
need
all we
to know.
need.
That's all you
Yes, sir.
We sat there for 45 minutes waiting for them to start, and they wouldn't start. So
Yeah, we take forever if you didn't know. But Jet's actually been on before, but I think
Yeah,
that
you guys
episode
didn't-
never aired.
we didn't have the mics on.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
messed up the audio. I know we've talked about it before, but so he will be on this one. There's
Well,
no way we messed it up
that's
this
lovely.
time.
Well, it's actually funny with these two because none of us knew they were here.
Yeah.
And then Jason sees someone outside. He's like, "Oh, he jumped." We're like, "Oh, it's just Devin's reflection." Then he sends Isaiah outside. You went outside.
Yeah.
And you saw both of them. And they
Yeah.
told you like be quiet.
kept it on the down low.
Yeah. And no one suspected a thing. Then I went outside, and I saw him too. They're like, "All right, keep quiet, keep quiet." So I walked back inside, and then Jason has to keep digging deeper.
You guys
Looked at their
kept
stuff.
asking me.
It was supposed to be
you
a
walked in,
surprise.
Jason, there's no one out here. What am I gonna do?
It was
okay.
it was supposed to be a
I believe you.
surprise.
Like, do you think I just didn't see them?
No,
Like,
because you
obviously I saw
started
them.
talking about it again. So I'm like, "There's no one
you
out
came in
there."
and asked me. They're not here out there, Jason. That's what you said. It's specifically what you said.
Debatable.
Oh man. Anyway,
Rewind. Flag,
if you
challenge flag.
before we go any farther, I guess you can finish this one, but 1 year ago we filmed our first Halloween special. That one was really good. Oh, it's not on YouTube though, right?
It is not.
So you got to go to Spotify or any podcast listening app, and you'll find it there. It's Halloween special. You should be able to listen to it. Great episode. Listen to that one too, after or before this one, whatever you want.
And that
We're
was
gonna
like-
have a returning favorite guest from that episode
Yes,
on
yes.
later this episode.
Yes.
It's gonna be good. But like last year, we had a little itinerary, a little plan of things to do that all correlate with the Halloween fall season. To start off, so this was a couple nights ago. We went over to Jacob's, me and Isaiah, and we were just discussing, things to write down for the script. And what was funny is, obviously, like we always do, we don't start working right away. It's like the first hour we were talking, and I'm like, wait, this might be a decent topic because it was a topic about scary stories about your room. Now let me explain. Like,
Oh, yeah.
because me and Isaiah related
Yeah,
to
we
this
were
hard.
talking
Like
about
when you're laying in your bed and you look over at your closet and you swear you see a man there, and you keep rubbing your eyes and staring at him, and you're like banging your head, like, why is he not going away? And you still keep seeing him, in the middle of the night. Dude, that freaks me out because like I know that's my closet, but why can I not unsee it? I can't be the only
there.
one.
Oh yeah.
It has to be, bro.
This is the boogeyman.
And then you have the one story about the balloon.
Yeah,
so
after that one.
bad.
When I was like 7 or so, I got a birthday present from my grandparents.
7, dude.
Awesome.
I didn't know you were 7. This,
Oh, I was pretty
this adds.
young.
This adds.
Thanks, grandparents. It was awesome. That present came with one of those huge helium balloons that comes with like it's on a big ribbon string and it's attached to like one of those just like weighted rock things,
Yep.
And I thought it was really cool, so I brought it home and I had it in my bedroom. And it only lasted a night because that night I went to sleep and I woke up and I just put the balloon right by the head of my bed, just like off to the side. But it was by like a vent from the ceiling, and so it was like just like swaying. And the balloon was a huge smiley face with just 2 big black eyes and a big smile, and it was surrounded by yellow, so you could make it out no matter where you were. It's a clown. And I did. I looked up at it, and I didn't want to move because I'm like, it's like I keep thinking it's like a T-Rex, man. If I don't move, maybe it won't see me. But it was just, if you're me, it was just saying like. and then every now and then hit the downdraft and it'd go. And it probably took me like 8 minutes to muster the courage to like fully open my eyes.
You got set up at that point,
dude. Yeah. Once I realized what it was, I was still scared. Like, I don't know, there's so much adrenaline or whatever. I couldn't even touch it. I just like turned around, put the blankets over my head. I just like went back to sleep.
You know, I had something kind of like that. It was about the first week of August and stuff. I'm sleeping in my bed. It's crazy. So I was sitting in my bed. All of a sudden, I hear someone crack open the door, and then they come into my bedroom, and I was like, I'm not kidding. It looks so like someone. There's a shadow, but it sounds like someone's coming as well. It's not just a shadow. And I was like, what is that?
Which is
all
good.
Of a sudden, Trey taps me.
Oh.
I hit the bed. I'm like, whatever, and I went to bed.
I remember that because you filmed it, didn't you?
we could put that. We could put that in that video in like the midpoint because we have the video of me doing it. Because Lucas came and got me before at Owl's when I was working there, and then I'm like, "Do you just want to go?" Wait, no, I think he went home. Yeah, he went home. I'm like, "Oh, I'll just go to Jason's house. I can just walk in his basement. I do it all the time. Walk down there, complete dark." I took a video. I'm like, "Hello, Jason. When you watch this, you'll be."
I would have definitely tried to get up and knock you out. I was so tired.
Well, in the video, I tag you, and I'm like, "You're it." You're like, "Okay," and then you just turn over and go back to sleep. I'm like, "Good night, Jason." You're like, "Good night."
That is the biggest
I
like
walk
feel
out.
of defeat when you get tagged, but you're so tired. You're like, I'm not even worth it. Like, fine, just get out. Let me go back to
I had to
sleep.
get up at like 6 the next day. I was like, I'm not doing anything.
It was like last year when Jason went and tagged Jet. There's a video of that.
Yeah, I was
He barges in. What do you want?
I was so annoyed.
Yeah.
I was so annoyed.
Yeah, all he said was, "Come on."
What do you want? It's like,
I
you're-
totally thought it was him 'cause he does all the time. I'm like, God dang it.
Yeah, because that was the last night. That was
Yeah.
like 10 o'clock the last night. So it was like a big thing. They said, because he had to get up and do
as
it.
soon as I got tapped, I'm like, do I even go out or do I actually just stay in bed? Yeah, and then I go on top of Isaiah's hood trying to get somebody.
I do remember that.
Does anyone else have any scary room stories?
I got one, but it's a little different. So when I was younger, me and my younger brother Ethan, we slept in the same bedroom. We had bunk beds, right? So I would spook him every once in a while, but one night I got him bad. He was like sitting on his DS or something, and I crawled over the edge of the bunk bed. It's like behind him, like on the edge. So I'm crawling there. So I'm holding up to my top one, have my feet on the bottom one. So I'm like sitting there, kind of like all sprawled out, and he's on his DS. And I like make a little rustle and hit the wall behind me. And he turns around. I'm like, "Hi, Ethan." Scared the hell out of him. Bro tried to get out of the bed as fast as possible. Hit his head on my bed. Swear, he almost went unconscious for a second. Rolls off the bed until he finally realizes it's me.
Jacob's pretty good at that. I know one time a few years ago at a scout camp out, we were playing, was it hide and go seek or was it like tag or something? I don't know.
Probably tag.
It was out
Probably
out at the lake, so it was the whole.
That was back in our tag age.
The whole group of us were playing. Oh, it was years and years ago, but he decides to hide in the trailer, and I'm it. So I go in there. I don't see anybody, and I start to walk away, and I just hear like the most feral hiss of my life. Like it had to be an animal. So I turn back around. I don't see anything. I'm like, all right, well, I'm not about to investigate that by myself. I'm about to go get an adult for that. And then I start to walk away again, and then I just hear the hiss again. And or I don't know if it was a hiss, that second one, or if he like said something, but I turned around and just slowly, if you've ever seen something come out of the shadows and just like the form of something just develop right in front of your eyes, oh, my heart sank into my boots, dude. It was horrifying.
Yeah, it's like the thing in the movie. Like
It's awful.
Like in the movie when it's like at the climax and you just see it walk
And it was
slowly to the
It was silent too,
protagonist.
but I knew it made that noise, and I couldn't tell it was you at the time. But I knew that thing made the noise, and it was huge. Like for what I thought it was way bigger.
Get out of the way from bro.
So it like hissed?
He hissed.
Yeah, so it was like a hiss.
Yeah, it was a hiss, dude.
So you thought it was like a cheetah on two legs or something?
I thought, well, the first time I heard a hiss, I'm like, oh, it's cats. Like, there's dumpsters nearby. And then I heard something again, and it was like way lower than a normal hiss or whatever. And then I like look, and I'm like, my brain's still processing the noise I just heard, and then just this big figures comes out. I still think about that sometimes.
Emotional damage
Yeah,
for the rest
yeah,
of
that's
his
trauma
life.
right
Good
there.
job, Jacob.
Still have nightmares.
Yeah. Actually, recently you did that when we were
Yeah.
at work.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
snuck up on him at work bad the other day, and I like slapped both of his shoulders and yelled at him. His phone went like 2 foot in the air, flops down on the table.
That was middle of the day too. I'm thinking of the most recent one too, because there was one Sunday where I didn't have to work, but
yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Said you just get scared.
No, it wasn't a Sunday then. It was,
This is
Yeah.
like, this is
Yeah.
just an
Scared a
everyday
lot
thing.
at work.
it was a Friday or a Saturday. Because I'm actually proud of this one. I didn't get scared.
Oh,
But I came
Nice.
I came to visit you at work, and you ended up working for like another hour longer. And the back of the kitchen, we didn't serve any food or anything at that point, so everything was closed and it was super dark. But I got pretzels and I wanted to go get ranch or something for it to dip in. I walk back, I'm back there for like
I know
5
what you're
minutes,
talking about.
and he's doing his own things. There's people out front like to serve or whatever, so I figured he's out there, and he just the way the kitchen is there's the whole kitchen, and then you have like this one little pillar, I guess, just like a wall, like a division, and you have like your ice and everything. So if I'm here in the kitchen and it's dark, he can like slip from the front into the kitchen and behind that wall without me seeing. And then I grabbed something from the big fridge and I walk around.
I found this perfect corner where you could only see like
Yeah.
75% of my body, and I just stood there smiling, staring like right into his soul. He turns around and he's like, I can just see him. He freezes for a second. He's like, "Don't do that." And he walks
That's
away.
cap. That is cap. I admitted I was scared the other times, but that is cap. This time he sat there. He told me he sat there for like 2 minutes, just like doing that. I didn't notice at all. I'm oblivious and it's dark, so I'm just doing my own thing. Finally, I get everything ready. I'm ready to go back out to where I think he is, and he just says, "Hi," and I don't even look at him because I was scared, but I was scared, so I didn't look at him. I said, "Don't do that." And I just kept walking, but I was not shaking that particular time.
I was in the nice spirit of a Halloween mood last night. So I called Isaiah with no caller ID on my phone.
Didn't get me that
Yeah,
time.
you did that to me too.
Yeah, I did.
And I'm at first, I'm like,
I had to call you like 3 times.
yes, I knew because I knew it was you. So at first I'm like, is this a bot? No caller ID, but no, even bots, you see their number. But
That's why I knew. Well, I didn't know it was
yeah,
him, but
exactly. And then it pulled up and it literally said no caller ID, which like I've never seen before. So I'm like, okay, this is definitely someone doing something. And I'm
But
like, I know it's Jacob.
this dummy gets on there and he told me afterwards when he called me back with his like I could see his name and everything. He told me he's like I was kind of hoping like I had like a whole conversation planned out with these videos because he used videos to like say
Yeah.
things. He's like
like a
I was
scary
kind of
demon
hoping you
voice.
wouldn't hang up. And the first video or like the first like demon voice text he sent me was get off the phone, and I literally just said okay, and I hung up. And then he calls me back afterwards. He's like, I was kind of hoping you'd stay on longer. Like, that's what you told me to do.
Well, yeah, mine was even more lame. So first 2 times I decline it. Third time I'm like, Jacob, stop. I know it's him. I pick it up and I go, hello, and I hear beep. I literally hang up.
Did you hear?
I
Did you
didn't
hear like?
a word? I didn't hear a word. It was just like a.
Did you hear like
Well,
a?
for Devin, I played a little soundtrack of like malicious screaming before I got into the sound.
This man, we were on the phone for like 45 minutes afterwards, and he kept trying to play. Well, he did. Some of them were funny, but like he kept playing these like, should I play this? Should I play this? And it's just like.
Just like the grudge sound.
Why would you, why?
That is the best movie of all time.
No, I thought it was so funny, dude. When I picked up, I'm like, hello? And it's just. And then I hear like a
laughing, trying not
and
to.
I hear
laugh.
like a click, and then like he hit play, he hit play, and then it's like get off the phone.
My mouse made such an audible click, and I'm like, hopefully I didn't pick that up.
It was so amusing. That was the funniest 18 seconds of this month.
It was so funny.
It was funny for
so,
mine.
what was funny is me and Isaiah both knew like it's Jacob. This is something
Yeah.
Jacob would do.
It was funny listening to Devin pick up the phone because you can tell he's kind of annoyed. Because the third time I called him, he's like, "Hello."
Yeah.
And
This
I'm
is
like,
this isn't spooky, but
I mean, that's something Casey Billing would do as a kid, and it's like that just reminds me of like the most stupidest sound he can make.
I tried to call Luke, but his phone was on Do Not Disturb at 10:30.
he's probably sleeping.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a mystery.
we may never know.
Yeah. But no, I don't want to go on too big of a tangent. But have you seen the same thing, like the caller pranks, where they keep calling this one lady, and it's like, "Do you have your tickets?" Take us to what?
The John Cena one.
This Sunday or whatever. And then they keep calling, and she's like, by the last time, she's like, hello. Man, we're very, very sorry. And this is just one big prank, but it's a radio show, so we're ready to give you your prize. Like this is for sure, like for real. She's like, oh, what did I win? It's like, tickets to this Sunday.
I saw that.
John Cena.
I saw that on TikTok.
I think it's pretty old. I remember seeing it a few years ago, but it is hilarious.
That's such a good thing.
You can do so many things with a phone, dude.
They have apps to like just for prank calling people and stuff, and they will be like random stuff, like a teacher from Iowa like calling about their kids and stuff. Like you can just call them and stuff. When I was at school, Brett Bruns, I don't know if you guys all know him, but we call our teacher in class using that prank call. And he knew it was Brett because Brett did something, so it still popped up. His name is Brett Bruns on his ID and stuff. Well, like also doesn't help that he's been doing that all day, so he prank called our teacher. He's like, hello? And he's like, what do you want, Brett? He's like, is this Jeff? I was like, yes. That was his name, Jeff. And he's like, is your refrigerator running? And he hung up, and he came inside and set Brett down in detention. That was so funny.
What do you want? What do you want? How do you keep going after that? What do you want, Brett?
Him.
I'm not Brett. I don't know this Brett you speak of.
Then you better go.
What do you have in there?
I don't know. You guys had it.
It's chalk
I don't know why you guys have chalk.
for our board.
Oh yeah, we don't even have that in.
Yeah, why would you ask Jason why is in our specific bucket? Oh yeah, give the camera a little view of that. We got that at Goodwill.
Tell us if this is backwards when you view it. I might need to write something.
I don't think
No, it
should
shouldn't be.
Yeah, it should be right. But so the next thing we'll go on to is basically we just want to go around and we're to stick with the scaries.
I got a great story. So
Do you? Okay.
yeah, so the other,
Way to contribute, baby.
yeah, I know. So the
Sorry, go ahead.
So the other week, I went down to a haunted cave, like down towards Dayton. I forget what the place is called, whatever. And we're in the haunted cave for not even like 3 minutes. One of my buddies, he gets jump scared. Just punches the guy right in the right in the nose. The guy just starts crying. The guy was in he's crying.
How old was he? Like 20-ish?
Yeah, the jump scare person. No, he was in his 20s.
Okay.
I see him crying. I walk over to him. Like, oh, you okay, buddy? He's like, no, I just got punched in the schnock. I'm losing. And like later on during this game, I'm like, you see the people with jump scares. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I see you. I ain't scared of you. Next thing I know, he comes running out with the chainsaw. I was scared. I started pooping my pants. It was bad. It was awful.
That's
the 20-year-old was crying because he got punched in the nose by his 16-year-old.
I wonder what like the rule was like. Could they get in trouble?
Me and Isaiah go to a lot.
You're not allowed to touch the jump scare
Okay,
people.
so you
and they're
can't
not
get
allowed to
trouble
touch you.
if you
The
knock
place
them.
we go, we sign
there's
contracts
no
like
contact rule.
Yeah.
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 When you buy, if there's a contract or if there's no contract, it's when you buy the tickets when they tell you. Like,
Yeah.
we
But it's like a big deal. Like they cannot touch you, you can't touch them.
makes sense.
Where do you guys get?
Yeah,
Land of
Land of
Illusion.
Illusion.
Something on there, like
It's a
makeup
really
or
good
whatever.
haunted house.
It is crazy.
We were supposed to go last Saturday.
Where was that? What's that called?
Last Saturday.
Land
We
of
were
Illusion.
supposed to go last Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna
just
plan a
think
date
it was
where we
tired,
can bring
honestly.
like 2 big vans down next year.
Yeah.
'Cause it's so fun, but it's actually been like
Bring
5
down
years since we've gone at this point. Maybe less than that. Maybe less than that.
Pre 2019.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
we just haven't gone. But
I've never gone to anything like that.
Mason.
Mason.
Yeah.
Mason.
We should go to
It's
that
2 hours.
Sydney again. The Warren Maze.
But I've
No,
only
it's super fun.
we went there like 3 times. I got in touch there once. Some clown chick shoved a baseball bat in between my legs and had me wilding because I didn't see her. So I was like, I was in one of those trips where you're falling for like 5 feet. Yeah. And I finally caught myself. I'm like, Jesus Christ, lady, chill.
I had this clown just absolutely grab me because I accidentally bumped into them, whatever, and they start yelling at me like, "You're not allowed to touch me, whatever." I'm like, "I bumped into you. I'm
No.
sorry."
See, this is what Land of Illusion is so fun, but they do some crazy stuff. Like it is risky. Jacob had the. Your thing was on, right?
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh, that would have been actually scary.
Yeah.
But Jacob had she stuck a baseball bat between his legs or whatever. I had a guy, those like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a Ripley's Bleeder or not, but like it's like an indoor bridge and like it's a tunnel, and the tunnel spins, and it's supposed to make you really dizzy when you walk through it. They had one of those, and it's the same clown place. They had this dude dressed up as a clown, super athletic, doing like backflips off the rail and like over top you and like walking on the rail above you. This dude totally failed a backflip, and he landed right on top of you. He's like, "Oh, my bad, brother," and he completely like broke. What is it called? Like he like broke the fourth wall basically, or whatever. He broke character. He's like, "My bad, brother." Kind of ruined it, but thanks. It's all right. I forgive you.
It's funny when they break character because I remember my first time going. There's this little suspension bridge, and this older lady kind of got stumbled up on it, like was tripping, wasn't taking it very easily. And one of the scary people was like, "Chill." Helped her across.
This big old Jason looking dude. It's like, let me put this machete down. Hang on. Let me walk you across this way.
And then start scaring.
All right.
I got a job to do, guys.
And the banter between them is so fun too. Like,
Is Barry in frame?
he should be.
I bet.
We should. Yeah, it should be good. But like they'll straight up make fun of you, dude.
Oh yeah, they
call me the amount of times I got called Justin Bieber. The second time I went, it was embarrassing.
You kind of look like him.
Past tense.
Yeah, with the hair.
You stop that.
Remember how floppy this man's hair used to be?
Hey, remember what? I can't say what they called him, but it was hilarious. It was way funnier.
If my camera or my phone wasn't used as the flash, I would show that old picture of you at
No, you wouldn't.
8th grade homecoming.
No, you wouldn't.
It was?
You're not allowed to do that.
I'll show it during the break.
No,
my
why do we have
gosh.
to? All right, it's okay.
That picture is golden.
I accept it. I accept it.
Golden.
I kind of want to see.
I low-key had Riz. You can't even argue.
It is straight comb over, hair down to here. Isaiah was like this
was
tall
awful.
at that point.
He's in junior high.
Yeah, this is junior high. Like
it was
8th
bad,
grade.
dude. I like real narrow shoulders, and they were like hunched up like this, and I had a big head of hair. It was a time. I'll tell you that much. It was a time.
Isaiah pulled deck,
And they took advantage of it because that's about the time that I went down there, and they took advantage. They had no mercy whatsoever. But again, I can't repeat what they called Jacob on air. But when you hear it, it's so funny.
You're telling me out. You're telling me out to the camera.
Oh.
It's raining.
All right.
Yeah, he knows.
Before we end this segment, we're gonna just do a little something else just to finish it because we're running out of time. But we'll go through and tell your biggest fears. And we don't have much time, so like don't go on forever. Okay. I'll start if you want me.
Yeah.
So I used to have like a decent fear of heights, but that actually has kind of gone away over time. I feel like everyone has a fear of heights, like to a degree, you know. That's kind of gone over.
It's
No?
natural.
Never.
Yeah,
like
I did, but once you go to Kings Island every once in a while, it goes away.
I guess you could say
Hop
I
on the
still
drop
have
tower
it,
every now and then.
but it's way less than it was. And I know I've said this on pod though. My biggest fear probably is needles. I hate needles. I'd rather die than like
See,
get a
the
shot.
same thing. The same thing about Kings Island, though. If you just use a bunch of needles, there's no fear.
Well,
I had that when I was getting my
The
wisdom.
right way.
I had that when I was getting my my wisdom teeth taken out. Like I knew I had to get a needle right in the arm and everything. And they had me go into the bathroom to piss before the operation started. I'm sitting in the bathroom like, I ain't going out. I'm staying in here.
I do not want to.
It took me like 5 minutes. I gathered the courage, opened that door, laid down. I'm like, put it in. Put it in my arm. It's time.
Stick me.
Did not enjoy that.
Stick me.
what's the fear you have, Jason?
I guess I don't have a lot of them, but I guess one would be like suffocating to death.
Yeah,
I guess
suck.
when people especially when I was younger, they would like wrap me with blankets and stuff.
Yeah.
I hated that. Also, my friend, we went to his pond and we would go on like a tube. One time I went under, like I got pushed off. I went underwater and I was trapped under the tube, and that was the scariest moment of my life because I could not get out, even though I was only down there for like 20 seconds. It was just like
Yeah.
it was just so scary.
The rule is
Yeah.
when you're underwater, you multiply
Yeah.
by 5. So
Right,
if you
yeah.
say you're under, or you divide by 5. If you
Yeah.
say you're under by 15, you're really only under by 3 seconds.
I don't think I
because
was
it
under
feels
for,
like
that
forever.
long at all.
It
Right.
probably
It's
felt
just-
forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine that, but then getting slapped by rocks and traveling 10 miles an hour.
You got the helmet though.
Yeah, you good.
You got the helmet.
Isaiah?
I'd say mine's kind of in the same category. It's like it's pretty traditional. For one, I know for a fact like I have like an unnatural fear of like large, super large spaces, especially if it's indoors. Like when we went to what museum was that?
Is the Henry Ford Museum.
We went to
in
Henry
Greenfield
Ford
Village.
Museum as like in like 5th, 6th grade or whatever. It's a huge. When you first walk in, it's a huge high arched ceiling, and I got nauseous. Dude. I had to sit down for like 10, 20
Yeah,
minutes.
and I was like, yo, what
And
the
that-
hell's wrong with you?
And that's an actual. I'd say that's actually like it scared me, but it's like a phobia, I guess. It's like I don't know. I have no reason to be afraid of it.
Yeah.
But then I also say on the other side, like kind of with like the suffocation, if my arms are stuck in a position and I can't get them out, that's terrifying to me.
Yeah.
It's
Claustrophobia.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
claustrophobia.
kinda like that, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess just like being utterly stuck is terrifying.
Jake.
I only got one fear, the fear that every single person has. Reduced levels of oxygen in the bloodstream.
So just like drowning,
Death?
basically, or suffocating.
Death, not being
much
able to
dying.
breathe.
Not the- yeah.
But it actually releases like the fear, the endorphins that make you feel fear. That's the only thing that's guaranteed to release it if you lower the amount, or if you raise the amount of CO2 and lower the amount of oxygen in the bloodstream.
So
Okay.
basic, but
Trey?
okay.
Go ahead,
Can't
Trey.
just say spider.
Trey, please say shark.
I'm gonna have to agree with Devin with needles. I completely forgot about this. When I was a kid, oh my gosh,
Hate 'em.
I don't like. They're fine now. I don't like them, but I don't hate them as much as I did. Because we used to go.
Not give blood and stuff though.
I used to hate it. I used to hate it,
I
but
was just wondering, like, don't you guys do that every time you give blood though? But
Yeah.
fine then.
Because we used to go every year for flu shots, and they would have to have like 5 nurses hold me down to like put a
Oh,
needle in my
my.
arm. It was bad. Then one of the times we went to what was it? It was just like
I didn't know that either.
What did I say? What did you say? Okay, I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it.
I didn't hear it. All right, but go ahead.
But
Trey.
no, but we went in there. We sat in line forever. I'm pretty sure because there was like some guy standing there. I don't know if you remember if he was a doctor or not, but he said he saw me like looking for any exit, like just like looking around. And right when I was next in line, as soon as it was next, I bolted. I bolted for the door. The man comes over and tackles me to the ground and picks me up and brings me back, held me down with both arms. They stuck a needle in my arm. But now I don't care that much.
They don't hurt that bad. It's just
No.
the
They
thought
don't,
of it
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
anticipation. You were in there for ages before they stick you, dude.
Yeah, and they just
Yeah, I like it. Like I said, like donating blood makes it a lot easier. I still hate them because they hurt, but like when you get like you have to go through so much of a process. But as soon as they get there, like if they're good, they'll just be like, all right, whoosh, all right, you're good.
Yeah,
You two got anything?
you don't have to.
They're
You don't want
they're
to.
fearless, bro.
Yeah.
They were outside in the dark and cold for 45 minutes just waiting for us.
No.
They weren't doing anything. They
guys
ain't
hear-
afraid of
I
anything.
used to be insanely scared of ketchup. Ketchup.
That's a
like,
good one.
Like the smell, everything. I would run away.
Yeah. That's when we cut right there.
Yeah.
Ketchup. Boom.
So like,
Reasonable.
Cue the music. So he would always put ketchup on me. I would instantly just start running. Like I'd be crying. I hated it.
Then the ketchup's chasing you too.
Yeah. So we went to like Dick's Last Resort in like what was it? New Knox in Tennessee. And
Ketchup packet.
yeah. Well, it's more than it's just condiments in general. This girl walks over and puts a pile of mayonnaise on my hand in the middle of a restaurant. I start freaking out. She doesn't know I hate condiments. I start freaking out. I run to the bathroom, wash it off. I get back. I'm crying. And this lady just feels so bad. Even like the whole point of like that restaurant is just to be, dicks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I guess I've seen some of those.
Yeah, I've seen it.
That's hilarious.
Jet, what you got?
Hit us in the heart.
Yeah, I don't know. I probably have a fear of falling. Actually,
Oh,
I can take heights, but it's the falling
What's
part.
that
Of the fear.
called? What's that called?
It's not the fall that hits you; it's a sudden stop.
Yeah,
That's what gets you.
I forget
Yeah.
what that's called. Has a name to it.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
going
don't
really
know what
fast
it's
in a
called,
vehicle is not dangerous. Just stopping really
Yeah.
fast.
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
That's why I would also say needles, but I just look away and then I can take the needle.
Yeah.
But
Take a
if
big old breath.
Yeah, if I'm looking at them put the needle in, I can't do it, but I gotta look away.
I can look away, but right when it's in there, that sensation just starts going up my body, and like I get a little lightheaded, and then I'm cold, like freezing cold. I'm like, I'm passing.
Well,
out.
you've had a few experiences where they put it like they're trying to inject something.
Yeah.
Everything
yeah,
has been
yeah.
except for I guess like small vaccinations, but everything else has been like they usually take it.
Yeah,
now.
my bad experiences have been with IVs. Like I had to have an operation when I was about 4th grade, so I had a lot of IVs with that whole process. Scarred me for life.
Let me see.
I'll get over it
Roll up your
sometime.
sleeve.
We'll all get over our feels. Feels.
Fears.
We'll all get over
Bring
our
out the
fears.
speech pad mix. We're here. I get it.
All right, we'll see you guys in the next segment.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm saying that only because it's been like an hour and a half
No, more than that.
since our last segment. Your eyes are so creepy.
Really?
Yes.
yeah,
Oh
we
my
stopped
goodness.
at like it's 10 o'clock.
That actually
So,
is really
yeah.
creepy.
We stopped at, like,
Seeing the
8:30.
eye or the
Yeah.
X's and
Yeah,
then
that's
the
an hour and a
two
half.
eyes. That's
Oh,
that's pretty
flickering.
nuts.
On the dot.
Is it supposed to flicker like that?
Yeah, he was
Okay.
had a button.
Oh, okay.
I'll take it back off. Just so we're good.
So yeah, I guess for my sanity, welcome back. We're rolling again.
to the second segment.
Yes.
Taking my hands off.
Yeah, we got some different people, so we got some new faces and some new powerful people in the room. Gentlemen, you can introduce both of yourselves.
I am Evan, dressed as Poncho.
I am Luke. I am a Snorlax from
And-
Pokemon.
And then we already went over our costumes.
Yeah, we
Did
did.
that in the first segment.
So I guess we'll start off.
You got the itinerary, bro? Or
No,
your
it's on my
phone's up
phone,
there?
which is up
Here,
there.
here you can
Oh,
put.
But I got it sort of remembered. The
You can
thing,
put my phone up there if you'd like.
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah, it's too late to switch. I'm just going to try to just brain it. I remember it a little bit. So the first thing we had, so I guess I'll inform you guys, we had a little itinerary going, just like last year. So the first thing we had is, I wrote on the note, it specifically said Annabelle doll, person, death. Because I think this is more of a Jacob and Isaiah territory.
Oh yeah.
They're big scary movie fans. They talk about the Annabelle doll trip and all the things that happened. So I'll just let you guys take over. So
Yeah, so you know how there's like the CMU or the MCU, right?
MCU, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's gonna get there. He's gonna get there.
So there's the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and then there's the CMU, which is the Conjuring Cinema or the CCU.
Yeah.
Yeah, Conjuring Cinematic Universe.
Okay.
And so you know there's the Conjuring movies, but those also connect in with the Nun movies and as well as the Annabelle movies.
In the same universe?
And
Yeah,
La
they're all the same.
Llorona. They
Wow.
threw that one in there.
La
Llorona. They
La
threw in
Llorona.
there.
So if you can look them up on the internet, and they display how you can view them in a timeline that fits correctly in the actual Conjuring universe, kind of how you can do with the Marvel movies. So like the first one you had to watch was from like the 1990s, and then you watch one from the 2000s, then back to the 1980s. It jumps around, but me and Isaiah have been working on that, and a lot of the movies in there are the Annabelle movies, and it talks about what's the family's name?
Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah, the Warren family. They keep Annabelle in her house, and it always says based on a true story, and we realize that this is a real place,
Yeah.
and the Annabelle doll is a real thing. So we want to someday someday soon go and blog, potentially if we could, visiting
Oh, yeah.
Ed and Lorraine Warren's house.
So, and one big thing is the big reason is obviously there's so many different stories surrounding this doll and like alleged deaths, that like it is an attraction because of that. Like
Yeah.
it's a bigger attraction because when it first became an attraction off the one story, people like skeptics would come up and like visit, and there was one man that like disrespected it and like tapped on the glass or something or did something disrespectful in some way, and he was like a very like outspoken skeptic. When he left, he rode on a bike there, on a motorcycle. When he left that same trip, he crashed and he sadly died like hours after he crashed. And so it's like a big thing. Like
Yeah.
it's
And there's been a couple odd reports of just car crashes or people going missing.
Yeah.
Weeks, months after visiting, and so it starts to beg the question: like coincidence or connection?
Hey, you want to talk about coincidence or connection? We talked about this last night when we had this like little like surprise like meeting or whatever when we were talking about like what we were gonna do. We were talking about this exact thing, right? Like how are we gonna like address it on the pod? Later that night, after we all went home, and I was on Instagram, and I was on a call with Jacob at the time. And what comes on my feed on Instagram, but none other than an Annabelle doll in its case. And it wasn't the real one, but it was a replica. But like, what are the chances? I guess it is Halloween, but like that's pretty weird. Like hours after we talked about it and everything.
Yeah.
So
I had a weird thing later that night as well. Myself, a weird coincidence. I was looking at like scary horror viruses that you can download onto your computer. And this guy was like
Virus?
Yeah, he was downloading viruses and malware onto his computer. He had the whole setup going so it wouldn't actually ruin his computer. This guy knew what he was doing, and he kept saying, "Don't do this at home, kids."
Don't do this at
And I'm
home.
like, oh. And so it's cool. He opens up this folder. He's like, all right, we're going to open up one of the most dangerous viruses and malware softwares in the world, the Annabelle ransom computer.
What?
And he opens it up, and his whole screen goes black. And he's like, yo, I can't move my mouse or anything. And then you hear like swings, and it's Annabelle's voice says this like whole long memo about like hunting you down and everything. Then it pops up, and it's just Annabelle's voice. And then it has a little instruction panel, and it's a ransom virus. So it took all of his computer's data and all of his files and everything, locked it up, encrypted it, and he can only get it back if he sends this certain IP address a certain amount of money in Bitcoin. And it's like a full functioning virus and everything. He's like, yeah. So if someone sent you this in an email, you are screwed. Like, and if you send the money, there's no way to really uncrypt this data.
But his computer was fine though.
Yeah, he opened up like a bot computer, I guess. So it was like a whole separate computer running on this computer. So it completely destroyed that virtual computer, but his computer was fine. Yeah. Like I said, don't do this.
Wow.
But he went through like 10 of them, but the first one was this Annabelle one, and it was really creepy.
This is also freaking creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, but imagine like being unaware, and it's just a link that says, click this to, enter into a raffle to win $1,000 or a free vacation, and then your whole screen goes black. You hear a little kid's voice, and then Annabelle's face just like pops up on your screen. Oh, that hit me different.
Well, apparently they've been like sending viruses like that where you don't even have to click on it. Like if you get it through
In
a
a
text,
text.
you just open up the text and it gets on your phone just like that.
Wow.
Or your computer. You open up the email, it just goes on automatically.
Crazy.
But I had one time, I was using my dad's computer, his desktop, and I was doing homework or something on it, and all of a sudden the mouse just started moving by itself, and I'm like, what's going on? And it's like, I don't know, 9 p.m. and I'm trying to do my homework, and it opened up like this tab. I'm like, what the heck's going on? It's opening a tab, it's typing stuff in. I'm kind of freaking out, and I close out the tab, and it just opens up and starts doing the thing again.
What was it typing?
Just going to some website or something where it will like scan your computer. I'm like, what is going on?
Oh,
External
told my-
download software.
Yeah, I'm
What the-
freaking out. I'm like, what is going on? And I told my dad about it, and he goes, oh, that's probably just Jesse, our IT guy.
Oh my.
Yeah, because apparently at like a certain time he was like going to use the computer, he's going to run scans and stuff, make sure everything's all right. But I'm sitting there, I'm trying to do homework. I'm like, what is going on?
I can't imagine on the other end that guy just like, yo, what is happening?
He's probably calling Ed like, Ed.
Both of
I'm
you are
trying
like
to do
freaking out. It's like there's something wrong with the system. There's something wrong.
The computers are fighting back.
Why is it trying to learn 7th grade history?
This was 2 years ago.
Why is it trying to learn 5th grade history?
Oh, my fault. My fault.
The computer knows I failed this class. No.
Wait, it's doing my assignment for me?
Okay.
All right, class.
Evan's like doing a multiple choice test. He's like trying to do it himself. Clicks an answer, scrolls. The computer scrolls back up, clicks the right answer.
That's amazing.
Someone's out there trying to help you. Like,
Yeah.
no.
No, bro, that's wrong.
That's
Yeah.
like the FBI agent.
Yeah.
FBI agent meme. You like send a risky text to your crush or something. FBI sends it like, bro, what are you doing? or like it's like you get notification that it didn't send or whatever, and he's like, I got you, bro.
I got you. Yes.
I got you.
What are you doing?
Those are funny.
Oh man.
Going back to what you said, Jacob, how much money did you have to send? Was it like a lot?
It was $600. I remember for the Bitcoin one.
Jesus.
There was other ones that were ransom softwares, malwares that you had to send money to in their different amounts. But it was very specific. It said like go. It had instruction panels of how to get Bitcoin, how to buy Bitcoin, how to get it into a certain name so that you can send it. And it said the exact IP address. And then in the top right corner, it said Annabelle was handing you a code. He's like, this is your personal code. Type this in so we know it's you and we can give your data back. And he's like, obviously, I don't want to send this any money, so I'm not going to test if it works, but I'm assuming it does.
That's crazy.
Might have sent that to
Wild.
people. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. there was some other cool ones. He had it was HP web page horror, and it like brought up a whole new web page, and it had like a bunch of scary like faces, and like it did a little scene, then scary faces, and imagine like your normal homepage with like some icons and the recycling bin. It had that, but it was all like horror, and everyone he clicked on brought it to like some disturbing website, and had a little another skit it did, and it's all kind of whack.
I've seen a video on Instagram, kind of like that, where someone probably send them like some virus and something, and all of a sudden, randomly, a shadowy figure will pop up on the screen. The guy was just like, and punched his computer, just blacked out the computer. I was like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Oh man.
It scare me.
These
that's for
Nigerian
sure.
princes are getting smart.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I got deep into the rabbit hole and I saw another video of a guy explaining something that happened to him years back. And so it was like a read over of a big Reddit thread. It's like
Oh,
this guy
yes.
had like this cool edit and he was reading through this Reddit thread, this story this guy was telling. He's like, a couple years ago, I was trying to download a game illegally on a website.
Classic.
Semi unfortunate. Like, obviously don't be doing that. And then, so he gets from this website into a chat room, a big. He was on the dark web. So yeah, if you guys ever
Not
want
a good thing.
yeah, you know, Tor Onion browser, I really recommend it. It's probably the best way to go on the dark web. Don't do it though.
Don't do that.
But so that's really the only way to actually do it. But so he's in this chat room and this guy private messaged him and he's like, yo, dude, talks to him for a little bit. And then he sends him a link. He's like, hey, yo, what is that? And he clicks on the link and it's like this weird live feed of like a person in a mask, like all dressed up in a room. He's like, that's kind of odd. Text him. He's like, that's kind of weird. Just gets rid of it, gets out of the chat room and X's off the dark web. The next day, he wakes up and turns on his computer and he says he has an email and he's like, yo, you remember me from last night, dude? Like, I'm in a hurt. I need some money and whatnot. Like, I need you to send me this money. And then he, like, says his name and everything, then says his parents' name, says his exact house address, and lists all this information from him. He's like, I know this is a threat, bro, but I really need the money. He's, like, trying to play a nice guy act. He sends him all this, and he's like, yeah, it's whack. Deletes the email, doesn't email him back. Doesn't think much about it. The next day, opens up the thing, gets another email. He's like, okay. Sees it, opens it up, same guy. It's a picture of him walking his dog on the street. Then it's also a picture of his house, his parents visiting him and everything. And that's when he like flipped the script and he freaked out. Like I don't even know what I would do. He said he called the cops and he called his parents and he lived with his parents for like a couple weeks. And his dad picked him up with like his handgun and everything. But oh my
Goodness.
That's just stressful.
That's
Yeah.
whack.
No.
It's an average Tuesday.
It happens.
Was that a real? Like that was actually real?
yeah,
or
that was
just
real.
made
That
up?
was all real.
Reddit people.
It's wrapped around.
So weird.
There we go.
So did you actually go on the dark web? Is that what you said, or were you just joking?
No, I was just joking. Yeah, but that is how you.
That's
go
how
to
you
the
would do
dark
it,
web,
though.
yeah.
It'd kind of be interesting.
You go
go
to it's like Tor Onion browser downloader.com and you have to download. It's like downloading Google, right? But for the dark web. That's how you get on it. Do not go on it without a VPN.
A good VPN.
A good VPN,
Not a free one.
and then like a great antivirus service.
You better know what
Yeah.
you're doing.
Yeah, but the story of the dark web's kind of funny because the government actually invented it.
To hide things on.
Yeah, to hide things on the dark web, and then people are like, "Hey, yo, this is really useful."
Well, we could do
And
so
got on
much
it.
fun things on this.
Yeah. So, yeah, dark place, very creepy.
There's a lot of
yeah,
uh,
definitely rabbit holes you can go down on it.
human
Would-
trading and
yeah.
things like that going on. So
Yeah, would not recommend going on it.
We should just move on.
Yeah, honestly.
probably the FBI agents are calling me right now.
Definitely get an
Actually,
email later.
So the next topic we have on the list is like, and Isaiah was the one that kind of brought this up, was like the urban legends or like the the myths of like you talked about that one witch and you had a story about something like that.
Witch.
Yeah, I was going to talk about the cicada case.
Yes, that's
Well, we can do the
But-
cicada case because that kind of goes along in like the real world.
Yeah.
You can go ahead with that.
So the cicada, I guess, wasn't as horror as I thought it was initially.
no, it's just very interesting, but
It was-
there's still an unknown,
Yeah.
mysterious aspect to it.
It was just this intricate maze or puzzle set up by one group of individuals that called themselves the 3301. And you just had to solve these things, and it was a bunch of cryptology and solving codes to unlock new things, to see real world books, and everyone thought it was kind of just a little hoax until later they said they gave out a bunch of locations, and then like real world images popped up in those locations, kind of showing it was an international thing. So I guess the scary aspect of it is like it's still unsolved and nobody exactly knows what entity did this. Like, was it some shadow government?
A maze. Like
Yeah, it was just like a internet maze.
You
like,
go to each place and like in real
It's like
life.
it's like a big multi-step puzzle.
Yeah.
Okay.
The things that appeared up in the real world were QR codes, and you had to scan the
Oh.
QR codes
And then-
to get to a website.
Like a huge part of it is like this huge, like still not finished 100% Caesar cipher. Like you solve one thing and it's really just a key, for another
Yeah.
cipher.
Yeah.
And that cipher's a key, like the answer to that is a key for another cipher, and it goes on and on and on.
Okay.
Kind of like in National Treasure, where he's got all that.
A little bit, yeah.
It's
That's
just
a
an
great
online-
way to translate
The
it. Yeah.
Disney
That's like
version.
it's a
Yes.
well, it's something people are gonna understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, except every step in National Treasure, it's just the same thing. Like, oh, cool, we found the answer. Do the same thing in the same process, just takes
Different
longer
location.
with different clues, I guess. But
So what's the reward for finishing this? Does anyone know?
you basically find out why they did it. Like
Yeah.
as far as they've released, like as far as they make it known, it sounds like they just include you in what they're
Yeah,
trying
it
to
sounds-
accomplish.
Okay.
The only thing I've came out, and this is all like hearsay, which means it's people saying it's true, but there's no factual evidence.
Yeah,
is
hear and
that
say it. Yeah.
yeah, they got hearsay. Yeah, they got those 15 people together that solved the puzzle initially, and they just got them in one big chat room. And then Cicada said, like, be patient, more information will come soon. And this was back in 2015, and they just never heard from him again.
That's the person's name, Cicada.
Yeah, Cicada 3301.
I
It's
thought
the
you were
same
talking about
thing.
the bug cicada. I was like,
I don't know why they called themselves that. That was like their watermark, I guess.
So
Okay.
15 people actually solved it.
Yeah, 15 people solved everything. The
Were
first
they-
puzzle.
Were they like together, like a collective group of 15, or like 15 individuals?
All
They
individuals,
okay.
yeah.
individuals.
I think didn't they specify? Well, no, they probably didn't specify do it alone.
Yeah, they
But
said
it
do
was
it alone.
it was
and alone.
desirable to do it alone.
Yeah. Yep.
So like if you do as a group, you're not allowed in or something, or like
I couldn't tell you
Fight to the
exactly.
death or something.
15
to the death.
15 people solved the first puzzle, and then 2 people solved the second puzzle, and then nobody has ever solved the third puzzle. The third puzzle has a 94-page book that was released in
Nope.
runic scripture,
reading.
which you had to go through all. Yeah, I don't think you could
Already
read
done.
it.
Nope.
That's too far.
That, and then they released a runic cipher that you have to decipher it with. But then people started realizing that all the pages are in different languages. So like there's Vietnamese languages that it translates into Vietnamese, so it's still unfinished.
Oh, wow.
So nobody finished the whole thing. They've only finished parts.
Yeah, I think there's still 19 more pages out of the 94 that need to be completed.
Jeez.
It's all very odd.
I was telling, well, I guess it's not a real life version because they're both real life, but there is a kind of a version of this that happened before in history. I was telling Jacob last night.
yeah,
'cause
National Treasure.
we were talking about, yeah, that happened.
Yes.
That is true. It all happened.
It all happened. That's a true story.
Yeah, but no, it was World War II in England, right when the war started.
The myths. They are myths, though.
It is a thing.
Well, hold on. But a little side conversation. I don't know if you guys remember. We were talking about National Treasure, and
Yeah.
I think Evan asked if it's real, and he said no one has solved it yet. But apparently, there is still like the City of Gold.
Oh, and the
And
Freemason Society.
the Freemason
Okay.
That's true.
Okay.
That is true.
It is true that supposedly it's out there. Where if you find these
Yes.
rooms, it's worth like it's unpriceable.
Yeah, that
These
is
things
true.
can be trillions of
You
dollars.
couldn't
but,
put a fucking.
Has-
But Nicolas Cage did not, in fact, find it.
No, I don't think
Has
anyone.
anybody
Yes.
looked at Mount Rushmore?
I don't think so. Probably not.
Probably
You're
not.
not allowed
Yeah.
because
It's illegal. You can't
Why
go
do
up
you think
there.
you're not
Oh, wow.
allowed?
See, and that's one of those things like conspiracy. Like, why did they build it there?
It-
Maybe
it's-
there is something under.
There's either that big City of Gold or there's like a Ben 10 Plumbers HQ there.
Yes. I always
Glad
wanted
you
a
sure got
wristwatch.
I do
okay,
appreciate
but
that.
Go ahead. Say it.
No, yeah. So I was saying, like, this whole cicada situation, not cicada itself, but it's actually happened before World War One in Great Britain when they first got into the war. The British government basically enlisted a bunch of like really smart mathematicians, I guess like college students, like if they were just really smart, or like even professors, and like really good mathematicians and linguists to try to solve what like the military code that the German government was using, which they were using. I don't know if anyone knows what an Enigma machine is or the Enigma, but it's a machine that basically totally randomizes code. So like there's no possible way. There's no actual cipher to it. Like there's no solution. It switches every 24 hours, and then whoever has the machine knows how to solve it, and then everyone else can decode it if they're on that side of a war. And they got together, and then on the British side they were trying to figure out, and they couldn't. Every 24 hours it reset. So at the beginning of the 24 hours they'd have to like work and try to solve find one answer in the millions upon millions of possible answers to decode it. And then eventually one guy came out and was like, yo, this is dumb. We can just make a machine to solve it for us. Because really only a machine can solve a machine like the Enigma machine. And so what they did was, like Cicada, they ended up putting him in charge. And like Cicada, he just like, yeah, all right, let's just put out a huge crossword puzzle because we need people good with, and like the crossword puzzle itself, like the answers, the clue that you need to use to like put the answer down in, like you needed to solve like 8 other things for that clue, right? And you had like no other resources when you like sat down in this room. So they like posted all over the place, and then if you solved the initial one, you took another test, stuff like that, and then like you didn't know what you were doing. You just like saw an advertisement, completed it, submitted it to this person, and then they said, all right, you're invited for the next step. Then you go in. It's like a test. If you complete it within a certain like 6 minutes or so, then you're in. But you still don't know what you're going for. And even fun fact, even the guy that like created it, the guy that they put in charge, super smart dude. Even he completed it in like 5 minutes and 30 seconds or whatever. And so that was the time limit, right? Like you had to like basically beat him. But even he knew that it wasn't possible. So if you just completed it, you were in. Except there was one girl, which at the time was like blasphemous, but there was one girl that beat it in the time limit that they thought was impossible.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Cheated.
Yeah.
Shit. Yeah.
They tend to do that.
Potentially, but I mean, she did help us solve it. But even no, they did end up making that machine. Like they made that machine in real life, and they like solved the Enigma, and that's what helped like plan for D-Day. That they knew where the Germans were going to be. Like they knew like U-boat plans and stuff like that. The freaky thing is, how much time do I have left?
You got time. 9 minutes.
Oh, okay. The freaky thing is like, well, I guess it's a sad thing, but in order for the British government to like continue to like exploit this, basically, they couldn't let the Germans know that they could decode it with this great machine. So they basically had to pick and choose like where to save troops.
That is weird.
When they knew that they were like the very first thing or like message they like deciphered, they figured out this group of U-boats was going to attack a passenger ship that happened to have some troops on it, and they said like, yo, it's too like if they knew, like if we reroute the ship and like destroy the U-boats, they're going to know we figured it out, and they're going to change the whole thing. And so we like it'd be all for nothing. And so
I was about to say, if that was the Lithuania, that was a good call.
Oh yeah,
but that's the Spanish-American War, so.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, there's something else about it. But yeah, the whole idea after they were able to solve the Enigma was like they had to like basically calculate like, all right, what is the most action that we can take with the information that we get from our machine, while also like doing the least amount of action possible so that they don't get suspicious. They have to find that middle, and then that's how they finally did it. Until obviously they were confident they could win. But that's the sad thing about it.
Yeah. I dug into that a little deeper, and the Navy SEALs cryptology team actually did a little recruitment thing like that also in the early 2000s. Set up an online puzzle to get people part of their team. The top of the top.
That's actually really cool.
Best of the best of the best.
Yeah. Imagine if you're just good at puzzles.
Yeah. You're just good at puzzles.
You're just good at puzzles. You just get a freaking email from the Navy. Hey, you want to become a SEAL?
I'm more of a dot-to-dot guy.
I'm like 450 pounds.
Did you just F-bomb it?
Dot to dot.
Bro, that's
Okay, that's what
I've been saying it.
that's his third one.
Yeah, it's like my third.
I yawned. I thought I heard it. I was like, all right, whatever.
I keep forgetting I'm on mic.
It's a special day.
Yeah. Special day, special case.
Yeah.
I'm glad people like Jeffrey Dahmer aren't this smart.
Well, that's arguable to see because serial killers are pretty smart usually.
They do tend
I'd
to have
say
a high IQ.
There's
So
like a lot
they have
of
a
them
high
do
IQ,
have
but
a
their
high
downfall is they're almost all sociopaths. And
Yeah.
so
Well,
they lack. They play a role in society. It's like they're playing a character. So that's ultimately their downfall. But they do have a high IQ, but it's kind of like barred basically by the fact that they don't actually
They
know how
love
to interact
themselves.
when people. Yeah. They just can't, like, socially, it's pretty easy to pick them out and just be like,
Well,
no thanks.
how about there was this case, I think it was in California. This guy, he's like 7 feet tall. His name is Big John.
I'm staying away from him.
Whoa, Big Bad John?
No problem.
No, not that guy.
Did he die in a coal mine?
No, so I think this guy's name was Big John, and he befriended cops, and especially ones that were like working on his case. Like he was just a serial killer, and he would strangle people and kill them, whatnot. And he would go to bars and drink with these cops all the time, and they called him Big John just because he's 7 feet tall. And then he ended up telling the cops, like his friends, he was like, "Yeah, I killed all those people. I did this," and they're like, "No, you didn't. No, we don't believe you." Like, they thought it was a joke because they'd been friends with him for years.
Is that his fault or theirs?
Well, the same.
Did they let him
I guess,
go?
I guess
let
he
him
probably
go?
made a calculated decision.
They arrested him, and I don't remember if he was put on death row or what, but he was definitely arrested. He like proved to them that he killed all of them.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, he
okay.
proved to them, but
Why?
It was
What
like-
are you doing?
It's like
That's
turning
not
yourself
so.
in, but
He
the
just-
long way.
I don't know.
Seriously.
He thought
It's
it was
like, are you
time.
sure you just? Yeah, let me show
He's
you.
tired of killing people, I guess.
Yeah, it's just
I don't
he's like
know,
he's tired
guys.
of winning. Like, you guys arrest me already? Gosh, you can't.
It's like
I can't
it's like
do this
Walter White,
anymore.
bro.
My neighbors are wondering what's up.
Yeah, I think this went on for at least 2 years. This guy did this.
Well, pretty good run.
Right?
Oh, I mean, I have a.
Luke's like,
Well, you asked me to do all that research on serial killers, and I actually.
It looks like I'm
We'll
looking on
wait for
3.
next
Yeah, I would
segment,
say I
'cause
was
we're running
wanting
out
to
of
wait to the
time.
next segment, but the one
Yeah.
guy had like a 35-year span of killing
The
before he got
Golden
caught.
State Killer?
Well, the Gold State Killer was never caught.
No, he was caught. He turned himself in. He was like 70 something.
That's
You-
hearsay, though. We really don't know because there's no proof.
Okay.
He had no real proof that he actually did it.
Okay. Okay. I thought it was
Like he's just saying it,
So
probably to get off the streets.
Can the
but-
justice system like incarcerate you for that?
What?
You saying you're guilty?
I think that he did get incarcerated, but like the only truth you have is your own word.
Yeah.
I was the guy killing people.
Yeah. So
What
I guess
proof do you have? Do you have the gun that was used? Do you have anything like that? And
no.
Were they
Like,
able to
no.
Just old
find-
Jesse here in my freezer.
Were they
That'll work, man.
were they able to like find all the bodies of the victims?
well, all the bodies were left at the Golden State because he would just shoot them in their car. It was couples in their car,
Oh yeah, I was. Gonna
so the
say.
bodies were always there. So he never had any bodies to hide.
Yeah, because if there were like, I know a few people. Well, I don't know them, but there's cases where like they prove it basically by pointing out where they hid a body that they never found.
Well, they
Like,
never.
the police
He
never
always just
found.
left them there.
And then that's how they're like, all right, yep, good enough.
Mhm.
Pack her up,
So-
boys.
I mean, that was what the 70s.
I want to interrupt real quick. Apparently, I had my Snapchat open when we did the introduction, and it did voice to text. And so I got a paragraph
Oh,
up
that's
until the
sick.
point where it says, "I'm Evan. I'm dressed as Poncho." And Luke says, "I am Snorlax from Pokemon," and then it cuts off there.
Did it do pretty well though for the intro? Like,
Yeah,
read through it real quick.
I got off to the part where I said COD Mobile, and then it says,
Yeah.
it's been like an hour and a half, so creepy. It's like 10 o'clock, blah, blah,
Where'd
blah.
the creepy get in there?
I don't know. It says something about a button for my sanity.
Maybe it just
And it says, we got some new faces, some powerful people in the room. Introduce yourselves. And I'm like, wow.
That is.
maybe it
fun.
just took the aura of the creepiness and threw it in there.
Hey,
Imagine
kinda-
that. Yeah, Evan had
right
his
in.
phone off.
They're like, wow, it's
but
so
it's still
dark in
recorded.
here. It's in my pocket.
Are you sure you had Snapchat on? You sure your one phone wasn't off?
Maybe.
No,
Maybe.
Well, I mean, I don't know how voice to text would have started.
A virus.
It's in a
The
Snapchat.
virus.
A virus.
It was in a Snapchat text.
Yeah, say you know what night it is, bro? It could be a
Friday.
It could be.
dun dun
Dun,
dun.
Every time we do, it will be Friday before we wrap this up. Really,
Scariest
though.
thing about this whole night for me.
Walking to the
I have
cars.
an exam makeup tomorrow at 8 a.m. 40 minutes from here.
Oh. Oh, you got to
Yeah.
make it up.
Well, I did pretty good on the first one,
Yeah, I think walking to our cars
but
through
I'm,
the
I'm
woods
st-
after this.
I
It
still
might
want to
be
go
hard.
and like
Oh,
try
we
to
got
do
one
better.
more seggy,
so.
so
Yeah, we do. All right, we'll wrap this up. We'll see you guys after a quick break.
Fly him all the way from Naples.
There's no context
Nipples.
to what
Yeah,
we're
there
talking
is no
about.
context.
Jacob was having us dial very sketchy numbers to try to like, I don't know, they were just very random and some of them creepy. One of them, the only one that worked was
Well, 2 worked.
Yeah.
yeah, I guess one of the 2 that worked was Wrinkles the Clown. And
was his
apparently for a
voicemail.
few hundred for a price he would just like show up. That's it, he would just show up.
Dude, if wrinkles cost you back,
What
I'm
did you-
picking up.
I'm picking up.
That'd be funny. He's not going to though.
definitely not. You didn't offer him any money.
yeah. You guys did leave a voicemail. Well, Devin, what's the old itinerary? Come on.
So I think we're gonna start off with Isaiah's story about the Bagaba.
Baba, you got Baba.
Baba Booey.
John Wick.
The John Wick. So
Baba Yaga.
in John Wick, it was a pretty like famous line that they start talking about, and they refer to him as the boogeyman or the Baba Yaga. But and it's kind of true. Like it roughly in Europe, anything that's like roughly scary or like has a negative connotation and is also like mystical, they'd call it like the bogeyman or like bogey woman, which is boogeyman. So it kind of makes sense. But Baba Yaga is actually not. It like does not translate to boogeyman. It actually translates roughly to like Baba is like babushka in Russian, which just means like elderly woman or grandmother. So in Slavic, Baba just translates like an old or elderly woman. And then Yaga is a part that has a negative connotation that just means like witch or like capture and stuff like that. So when you put the two together, it's like old witch or whatever, old hag or a crone or something like that. So the Baba Yaga actually has like her own story that's not killing people with pencils, which is kind of creepy in itself. But so that's like one of the cool things I wanted to do that we talked about last night was like like at least one like cool like actual like cryptid or like something mystery, something that goes bump in the night. And so that's the one that I thought was pretty cool because this story is like wild surrounding her. So it's basically like, and she's in a lot of shows. That's how I know about like the story. But the wildest thing about her is she's obviously a witch that lives in the woods, and depending on where you are or who you ask in like the Slavic region of the world, there's a few things. She could be good if you're like well behaved, and this is really talking about kids because it's just like a Handmaid's Tale, or is that what it's called? A wives' tale, an old wives' tale. So like, it's really to tell kids, like teach them lessons and stuff.
Little Krampus action.
Yeah, like anti-Santa. Yeah, Krampus. That is not.
That made me stop.
I figured it did.
Yeah.
It's a movie. It came out in like
2 years ago, 3 years ago.
Is that the one where they trap
Really?
the family
Yeah.
gets trapped in a snow globe?
Yeah.
That's what
At the
I thought.
very end.
That's what I thought.
Oh, that's such a bad ending.
My
It
fault.
was.
My fault.
Oh, it ends bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like movies like that.
But yeah,
right.
yeah, the story itself, or like the whole like folklore legend is really just to teach kids things, which something that like North America, like we do not have that. Like we have like Bigfoot, or we have Bigfoot, or like Mothman, or like the Jersey Devil.
We have the belt. That taught me a lot.
The mythical bell.
That's not a myth.
Not a minute.
That's
That
not-
is
Heck yeah. But no, I did a lot of research recently, and like in Loveland, Ohio, which is like so far away
Oh,
from where
yeah.
we are here in Canada. There's like frogmen, or there's a big snapping turtle up in like Utah or something like that. But anyways, like there's no stories associated with that. But for the Baba Yaga, if you're good and well behaved, she'll like help you out. Or if you're bad, she'll just straight up like gone. She'll unalive you and stuff like that. But the crazy things associated with her, she's not just a regular witch. Oh no. She lives in a house in the middle of woods, surrounded by a fence made of human bones. But the house can move because the house is built on stilts that are big chicken legs. Giant chicken legs. So the house can just get up, start walking.
Dude,
The door to the house either what?
I need some kind of.
It's on chicken legs.
This is like what is said.
So this is
or-
like a myth.
It's a myth.
Okay.
Okay.
This is the story behind
Do you
it.
think there are big chicken?
the house needs to do some.
for a
The
second.
house, it's just a shack with chicken legs.
So this is like the story.
It's a story. There's
the
there's
book.
never been a house found with
Okay.
chicken. Well, I think there's a statue somewhere, but it's not real, as far as we know. So behave, kids.
It's probably
Up-
not real.
Up
Probably.
until you talked about the fence made of bones and the chicken leg house, the whole thing just reminded me of. I know Trey will get it. The bloodbender from Avatar. That old lady.
I understand exactly
Oh,
what you're
yes.
saying.
Yeah,
Yes.
just a complete.
That's what
witch,
she's-
and,
Well, she was a
people-
waterbender. She just taught herself to bend blood.
That's
when
since
the-
blood is like
during
70%
full eclipse.
water during full eclipse. So that's when
Dude,
she
if
was
you
most
remember her
powerful.
name, you're
Yeah, that's
correct.
when she could.
No, she could do it whenever.
Nope.
Yes.
No, she can only do it during a full moon.
Because during the
That's
full
when-
moon
that's
is
when
they
water
become
bending's
more
at its peak.
powerful. Yep.
Yeah, she can only do it then.
Same with the not solar eclipse. What was it for Fire Nation? Oh, the comet. That's right.
The comets.
comet,
That's right. When
Sozin's
came
comet.
back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's such a good show.
So
Avatar
awesome.
is
10
good.
out of 10, dude.
Yeah. Quality.
Yeah. But yeah, she kind of looked like that lady. Except,
doesn't help.
well, there are a few depictions. One of them, she's depicted as the devil's grandmother. And so in that one, she's like a real, I don't want to say hag, it feels mean, but like a crone, which is like supposed to be like mystical. I'll say a crone, which is ugly, really old, wrinkly, and like nostril hair that like hangs down like to her like stomach.
Nostril hair
that hangs down to her stomach.
gnarly.
I ain't about that, bro.
Gnarly.
Like real like patchy scaly skin and just so like huge nose, like just super not attractive.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever.
Sounds
no.
like your mother.
If you if you think the chicken legs are
Can we turn
like
off
the
the
weirdest part,
camera?
so you know the trope about like witches flying on brooms and stuff, right?
Yeah.
She doesn't do that. She's too good for that. No. She flies around, actually hovers like those like Star Wars like stormtrooper
The
bikes.
Silver Surfer vibe.
She like hovers over the ground in a mortar and pestle, a giant mortar and pestle.
What?
Not even a cauldron, a mortar and pestle.
This
She
is
can
not
grind
making
you up.
sense.
And it's never explained exactly why, but obviously like it's a folk tale, so people can just speculate, and all of a sudden it kind of becomes
Yeah,
true.
this.
So like she does it because if she happens across you and you're bad and she kills you, she can grind up your bones right then and there.
Whoever made
To
this
make
up,
bread?
I want whatever they were on because this is some
Yeah,
wacky
that's
stuff.
This
Some
doesn't have to
whack.
be mushrooms or something.
Well, it took
Seeing
years. It's a
stuff.
super old tale. It took years and years. to
It's
develop.
probably like the telephone thing where it just kept
Right,
developing.
yeah,
weirder
and of
weirder
course,
after each
it's
person
not
told
like
it.
I didn't say like Russian or Czechoslovakian. It's like Slavic in general. It's a huge region that this is over, and it's not just like one set of woods that like it's confined to. It's just everywhere.
Like, oh, you think her houses had chicken legs? Oh, well, I bet she had a mortar and pestle that she
Yeah.
flew on.
Yeah, but then there are other stories that says no, she still has a broom. She just doesn't fly on it. She has a broom to cover up her tracks because when the villagers get angry at her for killing kids or whatever, she's got to clean up her tracks so they can't find her when she flies really low on the ground in her mortar and pestle. But no, there's a few like actual like written fairy tales about her. There's one about a girl that it's basically a Cinderella story, like almost exactly that, until she goes to into the woods to the Baba Yaga's house to find a candle because her evil stepmother and her stepsisters like were supposed to like turn all the lights out, like all the flames out in the house except for one candle, but someone messed up and then this girl had to like go out, and the innocent girl had to go out and like get a candle from Baba Yaga, and like she basically had to like Baba Yaga agreed because she knew that the girl was like good and like well behaved and stuff. And she's like, all right, that's cool, I'll help you, but you have to do these very specific things for me, and if you fail, I'll kill you and eat you. All right.
So
Bet.
did she have to get the candle from Baba Yaga or just happen to stumble upon Baba Yaga?
She had to get a candle. She had to get a flame from Baba Yaga because the evil stepmother and her stepsisters were trying to kill her basically.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And Baba Yaga knew that because she's a omnipotent whatever like being, and so
she keeps
all-knowing.
track of all
yeah.
those people.
But it's so weird because like I don't know if this is like the original story of Cinderella or not. I don't think so because it kind of just ends with her, like the thing that the flame that she gets isn't a flame. It's a skull on a stick that expels light, and then when she finally like gets it and goes back to her stepmother and stepsisters, when they look at it, they just die. So I don't think that's normal Cinderella.
What were the tasks she had to do?
But that's interesting too because that's one of the classics, like the original Cinderella story. She had to like pick lentils up off the ground and stuff like that to go to the ball or whatever. And in the Baba Yaga story, she had to sort through corn when lentils are just like beans or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like she had to pick through like good and bad corn, and then she had to clean like soot off the ground and stuff like that. And that's like very classic Cinderella stuff. So I wonder, and it didn't say it when I did this research, but I wonder if that's just like you go so far west in Europe, you'll get the one story that we are more familiar with, and then you go this way, and that's a story that they're familiar with.
I'm glad that this story wasn't in the Into the Woods movie where it had this hodgepodge of all those fairy tales.
Oh, that was a good movie.
Oh,
was
I
good.
need to remember.
that
It's just
musical.
Yeah, musical.
Oh, I meant that to my list.
It had
Maybe.
what's her
I
name?
forgot about that.
Anna
movie.
Kendrick's in it. Was her? That's the actor's name.
No.
Oh, no,
I wanted
don't
to say
wanna
Anne
call
Hathaway,
911.
but that is not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like the play. The whole time you were talking about this, I was thinking about Hansel and Gretel.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that story
I thought
is
that
like
too. Yeah.
Hansel and Gretel, just with more details.
Yeah. But yeah, this witch is weird, dude. weird. And it doesn't really say she like does magic. Like there's no wand or no potion. She just be doing stuff. She's just got magic things. She just does magic things just casually without really addressing it. It's freaky. I know there's more to like her story, but I can't really remember it, unfortunately.
It's all right. We'll let Luke take over.
Yeah, yeah.
'cause I know
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
got some information
Talking more
too.
cannibals. We
Yeah,
like
I
cannibals.
guess.
Yo, well, you know,
Whatever
Jeffrey
you got.
Dahmer.
Hey,
you
they
know.
really like you.
Well,
Oh wow, you made a note. Look at you.
Whoa.
this is copy and pasted from Wikipedia, but
It's like,
wow,
sorry,
wow.
no copy and paste. If you did that, I would give you a fist bump.
Are you
Not,
you're not
uh,
reading off anything, are you?
I just have notes that I was going to talk about.
I didn't use notes.
Well,
I was told about this assignment like a day ago.
That's fair. Go ahead, just go
I
ahead.
had 24 hours to
I got
prepare.
you. I got you. You do
And
have
I had-
a lot more things that cover.
I had
too,
QuickBooks to
potentially.
finish. I had 2 quizzes. I had class today.
QuickBooks, those are fast.
I had work.
Ain't they fast?
Not fast. Not fast.
I get it.
How much time do we have?
Jacob's
left, by
quick
the way?
with it.
Let me check.
Just so I don't know how much information. You
Oh,
have.
we got
You
18
plenty of
minutes.
time.
I got plenty of
Okay.
time.
I looked at you, didn't I?
I don't know. Let me say.
Jacob,
What do you guys want to
just sound
start?
like a bag of chips.
So what do y'all got? Break
So
it
I
Every
have
time
like
you move.
Jacob's going as Lays for Halloween this year.
Because I'm 90% air.
full of air.
Yeah,
He's full of
hot air.
When I have the hood up and I'm walking, I can't hear anything. Every rustle from my foot, my leg, all right into my ears just bounces all the way up, including the hood.
That's majestic.
Yeah.
We have to show you guys that. You guys haven't seen
Yeah.
those. That's
Okay.
funny.
You guys will have all seen
Yeah,
that shit
you
at
guys
the
should have
beginning.
seen it by now, unless
Yeah.
we put something over it.
Yeah.
Oh, it happened earlier.
Stop putting anything over
We
it.
did. Yeah, we're doing it. We did
the
an
only
intro.
part at the end.
Oh,
Like a
okay.
fun little skit.
Oh, cool.
I mean,
That's
that
what
was
he's talking
real.
about is his voice.
That was
Yeah.
real.
I'll
I'm
post this
gone.
one.
I'm disappeared.
I'll be one of you guys in a minute. When I watch it.
You watch it, yeah.
Okay.
See the first part.
Take
Anyway.
it away.
So I was so they
Yeah.
told me to look up serial killer stuff. So I
Yeah.
looked up serial killers. So I just looked up.
Now I know
I
what
started
to
with like the most prolific out there, and this guy's not even like talk. Yes, Isaiah.
Mr. Luke, what does prolific mean?
Prolific is like well known, or like these are like the ones I looked up. Like this guy who's done the most, as far as I can find. He's not even like well known. I've never heard of this guy.
We just had one of them on earlier.
So he wasn't
Really?
that good?
Yeah. Yeah,
No,
we
we
did.
did.
We just had one on. You'll probably talk about him.
Yeah.
Oh, was he dressed up as nice? Nice.
All right, sorry.
Anyways,
Yeah.
so the world's serial killer who's killed the most people, his name is Luis Garavito. Child murderer, torture, killer, and rapist known as La Bestia. The
He's got
Beast.
the full resume.
He has 193 confirmed kills and up to 300 plus.
Dang.
Somewhere in there.
If he was in the military,
What
that'd
time
be
was
awesome.
this?
Stat pattern.
Well, he's eligible for parole next year.
What?
Yeah. He was sentenced to 22 years because he gave up a lot of where the bodies are.
Bro,
Victims' bodies.
how do you
22
Whoa, how do
He
you
had
get a limit? How do you get a reduced?
1,800. He was sentenced to 1,853 years in prisons, but this was later reduced to 22 years after he led
How in
police
the-
to many of the bodies
How,
of his victims.
how in the hell do you get a reduced sentence for ratting on yourself? Dude?
Yeah.
Oh my.
If there's no other accomplices to
'cause
rat on.
the bodies, bro?
Yeah.
He
I
told him.
guess.
He said where the bodies were, so the family can have closure.
You know what? If someone kills my kid but
This
shows
was
me where
like-
the body is, I'm gonna be like, "Thank you,
You're good.
thank you."
Thanks, bro.
You're all right.
It's from
You're all right.
October 1992 to April 1999 in
I
Colombia
figured-
and neighboring
Dude,
countries.
I figured with that huge number, I feel like it'd be like Jack the Ripper era.
Jack the Ripper only
Yeah,
had
that's-
like 60.
What area?
Well, he
where
was only
that?
there was only so many people.
No. Jack the Ripper only had like
Well, not
6.
people.
He only killed like 6
It
people.
was just a huge. It was like
it was
one
just
of the
a
first
big deal
instances.
for the year. Like,
Well, it's
the
just the first
time.
one of the first like worldwide instances of like sensation
It was
of a
sensation,
serial
like,
killer.
oh my, this guy is cutting people
Yeah.
up and killing, but he was just killing whores.
Maybe we should
so-
What year
walk
was
around
he?
at night
When did he
on
die?
our own.
That was like late 1890s. Jack the
Okay.
Ripper.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot he
Yeah.
existed.
Yeah.
Colombia kind of makes sense though because it's so much
Yeah.
rainforest and
There's so much
Untouched
space
territory.
to go with it. I mean,
yeah.
seriously.
When you said that many kills, I thought the same thing as Isaiah. That it's like not that recent. That's,
No,
that's
it was
pretty. That's
92.
pretty recent.
92 to 99.
On parole, 20.
He's
man did a good
eligible
thing.
for parole in 23.
Man
that
did a
doesn't
good
mean he's
thing.
going to get parole, but he's eligible.
how old is he now then?
I have no clue.
I feel like he was young when doing all this.
I don't think he ever said so. He confessed to 140 boys between 6 and 16.
How is he not more well known?
I don't know. The La Bestia. I mean, put some respect on the name, bro.
Don't put respect. We do not respect him in any way.
Oh, hey, La Bestia. La Bestia.
I actually feel bad like talking about him because
that's terrible.
I feel like it's almost like a success story for him to not be that well known. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then America's most prolific serial killer, quote unquote, only had he was convicted of killing 3 women, but later investigations linked him to 31 others.
Man,
31
we
other
gotta
murders.
step it up,
People
guys.
step it up.
Come on,
Seriously.
America #1. Yeah,
but he's claimed to have killed as many as 93 victims.
Who's his name?
Samuel Little.
Okay.
Little.
There's not as much information on him.
Samuel?
Did you happen
Samuel.
to look up the one that he basically had a I was gonna say trap house, but that's an actual thing, like a booby trapped house.
He had it a monster house,
so when it got raided.
Basically,
So when his house got raided by cops. Or something?
No. It was like a hotel, and when they stayed, there was a bunch of stuff he'd have airtight rooms, literally gas them. And then there would be secret spaces in his house. I don't know who it is.
That's like some
He
Scooby-Doo
had
type.
secret spaces in his
That's
house
the way to do
where he
it.
would dump them, and they would just sit there.
And there's he could go there's only rooms he knew about, so he could escape everywhere and stuff. I know what you're talking about.
Whoa. You guys should look that up because I did not see anything about this.
Well, yeah.
And then I did a little research.
And he had accomplices, or I feel like there was another woman that did almost the same exact thing with her hotel or hotel kind of deal.
I tried to find out how many serial killers there were, all time or convicted or whatever. I couldn't find a number. There's no straight numbers.
Different definitions of serial.
That's what I was
The
thinking,
FBI defines serial killing as 2 or more.
Oh,
that's it.
I'm a serial killer.
What? I thought there was a pattern associated with it.
No, just 2
I
or
guess
more.
serial just means repeated, right?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, they're just taking in a multiple sense.
So, speaking of houses, or I don't want to take you too far track. Okay.
Whatever.
Have you heard of the Winchester house?
The Winchester. Yes, I have.
That
in
is-
my freaking class, my class that I'm writing that paper
Yeah.
about ghosts on.
Oh, really?
We talked about it. Yeah.
It is crazy. So the Winchester house, and I don't know too much, but I know enough. The Winchester house is a huge mansion built by the wife of the gentleman whose last name is Winchester, who made the Winchester rifles and founded that company.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the idea of it is, after his death, she built the house, but she was so haunted by either her guilty conscience or actual ghosts of all the victims that died due from a bullet of a Winchester rifle. And so when she was building the house, it was never even finished because it became more and more of a big mansion.
This place is
because
huge.
as the construction started, she'd be changing plans and get blueprints and just write stuff down based off what the ghosts tell her what she wants or what they want. So she'll give designated rooms that don't even have doors to access them.
So she wouldn't die or what?
She died eventually, but she lived in the house in just one very small section. But she always hired contractors basically to keep adding on based on what the ghosts would tell her.
Huh.
And so this mansion, there's definitely cool images to show up or to throw up there because there are some really cool but super coincidental things. She had no idea that her a rifle, a Winchester rifle, had this little feature, or one particular victim in their life did this, or there was some significance to this shape or image or symbol, and then she had no idea, wouldn't have any idea who this person is or if they even died of a Winchester rifle, but in a stained glass window there would be these specific symbols and stuff that corresponds to that person that died to a rifle like that. So it's all super crazy.
That was in the room. That was
it's just
symbols in the window of a room.
Of a random room that may or may not even have a door to access it. There's so many rooms. I think there's hundreds of rooms in this mansion, and there's just no access points. There's whole hallways that you can't even get to, staircases that just lead up to walls. Because she just listened
I'm gonna
to.
look that up.
She just
crazy.
It is
it's wild.
If you
It
look
is
up a
wild.
picture of it, it does look like someone was just stream of consciousness writing things down and just building on random.
She's not thinking about anything. She's just seeing something in her head and putting it up there, or particularly 7, like the number 7 or something, or like this specific symbol is just in her head, so she writes it down and
I
just
could
has
imagine
somebody
being the
put it in.
contractor and just being like, I.
Oh my.
Well, as long as you get
You're
money.
getting paid. Yeah.
As
It's
long
the
as you get
Winchesters. I mean,
Yeah.
you're gonna get
They
paid.
got him.
Oh yeah, she had money to
This pod is
spend.
giving me the creeps. No
Yeah.
lie,
Yeah,
bro.
for sure.
Last year we were pretty light. Like we did
Yeah,
a like
this
one's
favorite
more
heavy.
candy and best costumes. This one's been heavy, bro.
Most kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
But so there's somewhere between 25 and 50 active serial killers.
it's not
Like that's
bad.
estimated or
That's estimated.
yeah.
Okay.
That's like estimated based on
What's the
unsolved murders
That's not
and things
bad.
like that.
I don't feel like that's
25 to
many.
50 worldwide.
It's not that
No,
bad.
in the
Nationwide.
United States.
Nation.
25 to 50. Assuming the
bad.
worst.
Most
There's
there's
one
most
per
there's one per
state?
state.
There may be one
Aight.
in Ohio,
There probably is.
which good thing we're not in Ohio, but
And then again, serial killer, like that could just be like a gang member who has killed multiple people. you
Still
know?
technically on
the list.
yeah.
I
the
guess.
list, but like he's not doing anything wild.
I don't want to get like debatable, but this is something that I just remembered that some news reporters were saying that they should not report like mass shootings because like that kind of incites and like how many people died and everything, just so that incites
More people
other
to
people
do
to
it.
do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like try
Yeah.
to get higher on the scoreboard or something.
Yeah.
Well, and the other thing is like they assume fame possibility, with like they know that their name's going to be on the news.
Yeah.
I've heard people say that. I guess when I think of it, like I don't think they're doing it for that reason. I think they're so mentally ill and unstable. I don't think that thought's crossing their
There's
head.
got to be someone that is so
Yeah.
prideful to be like, I can
Maybe.
beat that. I can do better.
I mean, if they are that prideful, then they're still mentally ill.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
yeah.
still something
Yeah.
wrong with
Yeah.
them, you know.
Okay, so I'm gonna keep moving on because we're
Yeah.
running out.
Well,
of time.
we got
But
ours.
so
we found.
we found.
We can start it back up to
house guy.
extend it a little bit.
whatever.
The one he was talking about, it's H.H. Holmes. And during the 1893 World Fair in Chicago, he built his, like, they call it the murder castle, I guess, where it's just booby traps everywhere. Like, they'd
that
open
guy.
the door and
That
it just
guy.
goes straight down to this basement where it's, like, filled with, like, acid and just, no bueno. So he killed, it was America's first documented serial killer. He was the first.
in my head.
Yeah. Which is crazy. So he just took advantage of everyone just traveling to Chicago at the time, I guess, and he came to stay in his hotel.
And they had no concept that would even be like a thing in the world.
That you wouldn't have to. That you have to
Well,
worry about
documented.
dying.
Documented serial
Yeah.
killer, but like no one like. The amount of trust that people had in complete strangers was
Oh, yeah.
crazy at that time.
That's true.
Especially at like a world fair, like you don't expect that.
Even like 30 years ago, people still had like a lot of trust in people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Realistically,
Pre 9/11 kind of.
yeah, seriously.
that.
After that, it's kind of up in the air. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I trusted people before 9/11.
You
So-
know it's not in the air.
what?
Love.
No. No. Do you hear that?
What?
He said, Evan goes, you know what's not up in the air?
Yeah, I try to just walk. I try to talk through it, but I don't.
Oh my!
I don't know if we can. I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
That's all right.
Oh,
You can't say
man.
I didn't try. I said that so fast. All right, Luke, why don't you keep her going?
So you guys want to talk about two of the most famous serial killers,
I do very much.
John Wayne Gacy
That's
and
who we
Jeffrey
talked.
Dahmer.
Yes, sir.
Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer. We'll start with John Wayne Gacy.
Jason was Ted Bundy earlier. You missed him.
Ted.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was
Well,
Ted Bundy.
Ted.
Teddy.
Mr. Ted.
Mr. Teddy Boy.
Pretty boy.
We like John Wayne and Jeff. Jeff.
What was John Wayne Gacy's stage name?
Staging?
Yeah,
Stage
when he's a
name.
Clown.
Wrinkles.
Was-
Patches.
Patches the Clown.
That sounds
Patches.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Patches. He was Patches the Clowns. He did a lot of work for charities and children's hospitals. He went to parties as a clown. That was kind of his thing. And then he would lure people back to his house. And he would ask them to put handcuffs on willingly to do a magic trick.
It was all kids, right?
It was mostly boys. 33 young men and boys.
Yeah.
So, put handcuffs on willingly, and then he would just suffocate them, or he drowned, suffocation, strangling, and drowning. Those were his big three, and then he cut them up,
Was this
tortured, raped, and he raped them too.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Forgot about that.
Didn't he put him in his crawl space?
Yes, all 33 bodies were found below his house.
And like, wasn't the way he got like he'd hire guys for like a contracting?
Yeah, he was trying to get people. He was trying to hire people for his contracting
Yeah, so
business.
he'd take him back to his house, and then he'd
Yeah, and then he would, he drugged them too.
Yeah,
And then they would kind of like pass
Try-
out, and then he would
do everything.
suffocate them and do whatever he wanted, and real weird.
That sounds like the India kidney black market. He's like
Except
illegal.
He did,
Oh, go ahead.
except he didn't do that.
Yeah, but like an illegal organization,
Yeah.
obviously would be like, hey, we're contractors trying to hire like someone suitable to like usually a man to get a kidney from him. He looks healthy, and then they'd like tell him that if you come to this house, we'll call you for work at this place. So they'll seclude him, get him in a house that they own, where he's alone at, expecting to go and work somewhere like nearby, and then when no one else is around, they'd go in, and then they'd drug him, and then they'd take his kidney out and drop him off at a hospital. So it's like the same, like trick him into thinking like he's
Gonna
working
get
for a
something,
contractor. Yeah.
and then just take him out. So yeah, so he was convicted of all 33 counts, and he was put to the death sentence of lethal injection, and he died on the same hour as a solar eclipse happened, and that was on May 10th of 1994.
Yeah, which is really cool because that happened at the same time as Jeffrey Dahmer getting baptized.
Yes,
And all,
same day.
all three happened at the same time. And they said, because a solar eclipse means something like evil being gone or like a new reborn or something.
Yep.
And all three happened the same day, which is...
It was very
it's
weird.
That's insane, the coincidence of that.
I forget
just got
what
some
he
mad
said.
news.
I forget what he said when he was asked if he had any last words.
He said
Oh.
something like...
It was kind of screwed.
He was just making fun of the people's parents he killed because they're all in witness. He like
Yeah, they were
flipped them
all
off
there.
or something. He like said, "I don't regret anything."
Quit
like,
crying about
yeah.
it.
Yeah, or like screw you guys or something like that. I forget. It was something like
It was something kind of rude.
Uh-oh.
Wait, I just saw it.
Yeah, that is messed up. I hope one never stumbles upon the cabin.
Solar eclipse. Solar eclipse, that's
At
pretty
least there's
dark.
nowhere to put a body beneath this place.
Can I say
In
that word?
5v1, we might have a chance.
I don't know if I can say that. I don't want to
Six.
say it. We've said a lot of things
Right now.
You got 6 right now, yeah?
He said, can we can just bleep it, right? Should I
Let's
just
go
say
for it. Yeah.
No.
Say it.
I don't really know how
Use
to
context
believe.
clues or something.
Just say like the first.
He said, "Kiss my behind." Those were his last 3 words.
that was his last words.
in the tapes
Solid.
leading up to his death. He said, "I've killed 33 people, and you can only kill me once," which is kind of creepy.
That's terrible.
That's like a pure sociopath. Like, look at the numbers, I win. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
he had absolutely no
He's out.
remorse.
Burn in
I'll
hell
kill him.
for the rest of your existence.
Yeah.
I'm not upset by that. that's that's smart.
I'm so confused. All right.
What are we talking about?
Well, that I've killed 33 people and you can only kill me once. That's like that's a
terrible.
last. That's a
I mean,
last like.
he's right.
I
but
won.
That's terrible. We all good to end it here? You guys good?
I'm baffled, but
Or do you
I
guys
have
got
more
more
information.
Ended
but-
on that note.
I'm good.
You
Yeah.
want to say it or?
What? I mean, I got more stuff. I didn't know if you want to talk about Jeff yet.
Do we have time?
Jeff
Talk
is
some
out.
Jeff. Talk
All
some
right.
Jeff.
We can put another 10 minutes on.
All right, we will do another segment, so we'll be right back.
in a
Yeah.
second.
We'll be back in a sec, my boy.
We'll give you.
Jeffrey to save.
You guys
us.
want to talk about Jeffrey? All right, Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer.
Everyone knows this. It's going ham right
It's
now.
a classic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone's been in the news everywhere. People have been talking about the show. Show is a masterpiece, by the way.
They're making an Aaron Hernandez one now.
Are they really?
After
Nice.
this or that,
Nice.
Did he only kill like one person though?
something like that. I'm guessing just.
I thought it was just like a gang. He just killing violence. He just
Yeah.
killed one dude. I thought.
I think it was only one
Whatever.
too. Just
He was
interesting.
also known as the Milwaukee Cannibal or the Milwaukee Monster, American serial killer and sex offender and cannibal.
Mhm.
Dismembered 19 people. Well, let's see here. 16 counts of life. He was charged with 16 counts of life, 941 years. 16 back to whatever counts of imprisonment. Originally from Bath, Ohio.
His first kill
It's
was.
not, it's not like we're from
Represent.
Ohio.
Just kidding.
It's not like we're from Ohio or anything.
His
but,
first
you
kill
know.
was in Ohio. It was by Canton.
Yeah, he
Doesn't-
killed. He picked up a hitchhiker. So
Doesn't it?
interesting
Oh, yeah,
story on
that's
that.
right.
So he was actually. So his mom and his dad were getting a divorce. So he had the house to himself because his dad was living at the Holiday Inn downtown, and his mom just up and left with his younger brother one day. And so he had the house to himself for like 3 months. So he was originally going to go kill some guy he saw running because he had this weird
on him.
fascination with the male body and the male physique. He just loved like a well put together man. He just something about it just worked for him. And he just so he was going to kill this. He was going to knock this guy out while he was on his run.
Yeah, he hid behind a tree with a bat and was like,
He was
actually
going to do it. And then he just did it. And the guy just kind of ran the other way. And he's like, wow. Yeah, it was very anticlimactic on the show, but
Yeah.
so much hype. So he was driving around one.
happened in real life.
Yeah. And then the guy just ran away.
Yeah, it kind of made the show a little boring, but whatever.
It was anticlimactic.
The guy was probably a little freaked out.
But, not too long later. That was me running. Hey, yo. But,
that would be weird.
he picked up a hitchhiker as a guy who was going to a rock concert. I forget who was playing at this rock concert, but he was hitchhiking his way to a rock concert. Some 18-year-old kid.
Which was common back then.
Yeah, whatever. It's the freaking 70s, late 78.
They didn't want the rock, and
Yeah.
That kid's world got rocked.
Okay. You're done.
So they went back to his house. Well, went back to Jeff's place where he was, and they got high and drank. And he was like, "Yo, we got to get going. I'm gonna miss this concert. I really want to see this band." He's like, "No, don't leave. I don't want you to leave, man. I'm going. I'm getting out of here." I think he picked up like a free weight or like a dumbbell weight and just smacked him over the head with it.
Yeah, like one of the
Cracked his
45s you
skull.
put on.
we did.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He just knocked him out, bled out, died.
He choked him after.
And then he choked him to make sure it was done. And he stuffed him underneath the crawl space. And years later, when he went of his dad's house, and years later when he went back, he did the same night.
Yeah.
He cut him up, put him in trash bags, and was going to drive him to the dump and dump him at the dump. It was like 3 a.m, kind of drunk. He gets pulled over by the cops. 18, freshly graduated from a high school. And he gets picked up for drunk driving or stopped for drunk driving.
Yeah,
and they're like, "We don't want to ruin your life, kid. Turn around and go home."
And that
So
wasn't even a legal age, was it?
78, I think it might have been legal.
Was
yet.
it?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes,
Okay.
I think so. So he turned around and he went back and shoved these bags in a drainage pipe behind his dad's house on his like half-acre lot house. And some pipe just shoved him in the pipe.
Yeah.
And when years later, he went back and pulled them all out, and they're still there. And he dug them and threw them around the property. He dug them up,
He
dug holes, and put them in there.
and he crushed his bones up and did it what is it called when you burn someone's body into ash and spread their ashes?
Cremate?
Yeah,
Like
cremate. He did something like that, like respecting him and just trying to remember him.
But
which
there
is
was
so
still a
weird.
few bones and stuff later because when he got caught in Milwaukee,
Yeah.
he's like, "Yeah, there's one in my dad's backyard back in Ohio too." They're like, "No," and dug up the backyard and they were there, road tripping back home.
Yeah.
Did you
What's-
guys hear about the? Sorry. Did you guys hear about the part where he, cut up his victims and then he made them into sandwiches and gave them to his neighbors?
Yeah.
He tried to do that.
No,
Most of them didn't take the sandwiches,
Okay.
or they took them but they didn't eat them, kind of thing. Yes,
Gosh.
but the one neighbor was called about him 90 times, I think.
Yeah.
While they were neighbors, about the smell, about
Oh yeah.
stuff
Smell.
happening.
Yeah.
The one time, so he killed. The youngest victim was a 14-year-old boy, and he actually escaped from his house and was running, and then
I would
his
say
neighbor.
escaped.
Well,
He got lobotomized, which is literally
yes, but he escaped before he got lobotomized.
No, he was lobotomized.
Oh,
at
was
that
he
point.
lobotomized?
Yeah. So lobotomized is it's I don't know. It's like surgery on the brain almost. So he
To make
drilled
a living
hole in the
zombie.
back of this guy's
Oh.
head. So he is
If you've ever
He's pretty
seen
much
Shutter
dead.
Island,
Yeah.
that's what they
Yeah,
did to
they
people
talked
on
about
Shutter
that.
Island.
yeah, you're pretty much dead but not dead. You're pretty close to dead.
Mentally incapacitated, basically.
A living zombie.
Yeah, and he left the house, but he should have got caught so many times before.
At least twice.
Yeah. So
Before he
the little
did.
boy stumbled out of the house, and the woman found the boy, her neighbor, and the cops came and everything, and Jeff just played it.
Oh,
Do you is this from you watching the show or did you read this?
I've watched the show and the
Conversations
the
with the killer.
conversations.
And they match? Like
Yeah.
it's actually
Yeah, it's
okay.
pretty much- it's
I didn't
pretty
know if
close.
the show just
the
like,
show did
embellished
it
that.
pretty well justice.
Okay. Yeah.
for everything.
Because like it also shows like the actual calls that she made and like like yeah, and so like the boy makes it outside and like he's a zombie at this point. He can't make any sense. Like no one
Can't
knows
say
what's going
anything.
on.
No one
And this
knows.
woman's like, I'm staying here. Or Jeff left at that point, didn't he?
Went to go get more beer because
Yeah.
he ran out of beer.
And he's coming back as he's sitting on the porch of his apartment or whatever, or outside the apartment, and the cops show up, and Jeff just plays it off to like, oh, this is my boyfriend or whatever.
He's 19.
Yeah, he's
like,
19, and this woman is like, this boy is like 12, like he is a young kid,
He was 14, but
and like she was also black, so like,
and then the cops were white,
Oh,
and there was
yeah,
a whole
doesn't help.
thing.
so it's just like race at that point, which is, yeah,
it was a whole thing.
That cop that pulled him over.
Yeah, those
Can-
cops got, I forget what it was. They got taken out of duty for a while, but they got
Yeah, that
reinstated.
Was, yeah, that was so bad. So they take him,
But it was the 90s, so I mean,
yeah. So the cops take Jeff and the boy back up to his room, and they're like, "Oh, just make sure like
he
you're
gets
actually truly
taken care
saying."
of.
And which what Jeff was almost also famous for was taking pictures of his victims.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
yep.
So before, like, he already took pictures of the boy. So he's like, here's pictures I took, like, to prove he's my boyfriend. It's him just like laying there, like, naked.
Because he said he was
So-
going to pay him $50 for those
Yeah.
photos. And
Which also that is the boy's fault. So Jeff, before he was a serial killer, went to jail for like a year for raping his older brother, the kid's older brother, and that kid still went with Jeff back to his house
Oh no.
to try to get money and like him to
For
take
their
pictures of him,
family.
for his family. So that I don't know what that kid was thinking, but still,
the one guy he killed was deaf. He was in a relationship with a deaf guy, a deaf black guy, and he was starting to learn sign language and stuff. And he got up to leave one morning to go to New York because he was starting his like a modeling career or whatever, trying to become a model. He tried to leave and he just knocked him out before he could hit the door
because he was leaving and
because
Jeff
he was
didn't
leaving
want
and
that.
he wanted to have control. Obviously, he didn't want him to leave.
Yeah, the craziest thing about him is like if you listen to his interviews and like hear what people say about him, like he seems like a completely normal person. If you ever talk to him, it seems like nothing's wrong with him. Like he talks completely fine. Like he's nice almost. But like the stuff he did is
Just
it's
not.
It's
I mean,
insane.
he cut people up. He had a 55-gallon drum in his room filled with acid,
Yeah.
and where he was burning the flesh off bones. And then he had like 4 or 5 complete skulls and body, like had all the bones for a whole body, like in his apartment and stashed away.
And and the pictures he took, like you can find them on the internet. It's
Weren't they just like boxes and boxes of pictures
Yeah.
that cops pulled out of his apartment?
and the pictures that they released are so bad. I looked it up. I should not have.
No.
It is bad.
Large regret.
And it's like it does not like I guess in horror movies you can tell when like stuff happens it looks fake. Yeah, it's completely
Not fake.
real.
He was truly had issues.
Yeah.
But after watching the show, I blame his mom for being on all those pills when she was pregnant with him. I think there's an issue lies there.
There's a lot of blame to go a lot of places.
Yeah.
There is, but there's a lot of blame I think to
it
be
was
pointed at his mom because she was crazy.
This is all crazy, fellas.
They are.
Yep.
Oh,
I'll put in one more little thing I remember is y'all know who Howard Stern is?
Yeah.
That's the radio show. There was actually a serial killer that called into his
That's
show
right.
once, and it was like an hour, and I don't know why, but I listened to this whole conversation, and Howard like kept trying to ask specific questions to get information from to kind of give himself up or tip off the cops and whatnot, and get hints and everything. And the guy was smart, really never told him anything. He got convicted later, and they realized what he said on the show was true, but it was just chilling listening to this person talk because like. He talked to Howard a little bit and revealed some things, but then he just like wanted to talk to Howard normally, and Howard's like, it's weird like listening to you because you don't sound like a deranged serial killer, but it was.
That is crazy.
That was uncomfortable.
Well, we could keep going on and on
Yeah.
about
well,
this.
yeah, we really could.
But
But
I knew nothing about
on November 28th, 1994, Dahmer was beaten to death by Christopher Scarver,
Yep.
a fellow
in
inmate.
jail.
because he
in
was
jail.
afraid of him.
No.
Yeah, he said he was terrified.
Who
of the
was
guy.
afraid of
That's why
who?
he killed him.
Jeff.
Well,
he's
he
Frank
also had
Jeffrey.
a
He was a
history
friend
of mental
Dahmer.
illness. That guy had a history of mental illness. The guy who killed him. Like, he wanted to look at this. He wanted to see like the newspaper articles and stuff like that. But he was the one person didn't want to let him because he had like issues. When he sees something that aggravates him, it makes him like beyond the threshold of mad. And
Well,
then
that's
he
probably
like
prison,
he busted out and he killed some other guy first, and then he killed Jeff when the guard watching them while they were cleaning walked
Which
away.
I think that was a setup.
It probably was because the guards didn't like him either.
Because he would go, because people started sending him letters and stuff, and he was being
getting money.
praised as like,
Yeah,
I don't know, like a superhero.
That's not
almost.
right.
So like in jail, he was like flaunting around, like saying how he's so famous, and like just making fun of the other inmates. So everyone absolutely hated him. And he also was a serial killer, so that is
he had that going for him.
Add that on.
Yeah, just tack it on top.
It's all wild, man. It's all wild.
I like
I'm
talking
just-
about our favorite candy more.
I have to stick to that.
It's
next
not as
year.
chilling. How about that?
Right, that we were supposed to talk about that we haven't.
Really.
This segment is going on.
I don't want to. I don't
Anyways.
want to repeat last year's either because we had some good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From last Halloween special, but yeah, we'll wrap it up here. I'm still glad we were able to do this again. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this Halloween
Yeah.
special.
Let's
Bringing
just
on
do
the
Halloween
guests.
every episode.
Yeah, not this.
no.
I'd
This
like some
segment has
lights
been
on
so
next
cursed.
episode.
Can we turn the lights on now?
Yeah. Hopefully those are still listening. Hopefully you enjoyed some of the conversations we had.
Yeah.
I know they took a weird turn, I guess, but it's still cool to talk about. And
It's very
You-
interesting.
being scared sometimes, you need that. If I get if you're not a huge scary person, like a scary movie person, or you like to be scared, but still every once in a while you like, it's still a good feeling,
Yeah.
It's different.
It is different.
Sometimes you gotta know about this stuff because
Yeah.
it happened.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
adrenaline
I was gonna say,
rush
like
and-
with the Holocaust, like it needs to be talked about so people know it happened.
Right.
Yep. Exactly.
I don't know. I think it was all good. I still enjoyed the night a lot, and I think we learned a lot too for like next year's and plans and stuff. So I'm really happy. We already said the socials earlier, so that's really all I got. Thank you guys so much for watching. Seriously, means a lot.
Please send some prayers so we can walk up this.
Yeah,
Get home safe.
It's gonna be terrible.
I wish the path lights worked.
Yes.
But keep on the lookout for the Christmas episode or episode 100.
We didn't
Christmas
even say
will
the
come
creepiest
first.
thing that happened tonight. When we were recording the intro, we had two black dogs running at us.
If you watched
We've
the
been-
last episode when we
Yes.
talked about the scary noises, they were the dogs. They were
been scary
neighbors'
noises.
dogs.
And it was weird because it'd be here and then it'd be over there so
Yes.
fast. There's two neighbors'
At
dogs.
least two.
And they're
There's
so
multiple.
sweet. They ran up to us and
Yeah.
they laid on the ground. We pet them.
Yeah, it was
But we
super
were
nice.
recording the intro that you saw, and then, well, I guess we have to do the outro still a little bit. But it'll be fine.
It's gonna be terrible.
But yeah, they just started booking it at
Oh
us.
no, because the outros are nice. Outros nice.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, what are you talking about? It's
Yeah,
gonna be
yes.
terrible.
You'll see it.
You'll see.
It's
it.
all right. You'll see in a
So-
second.
You're the scariest dude in the room.
Yeah, I mean when it's on, maybe.
Yeah.
I played dodgeball. Why are you scared?
Anyway, that's all we got.
Thank you guys so much.
For real.
Hope you weren't scared too much.
Yeah.
You
Stay
should
tuned
be.
for episode 100. That's gonna be huge, and obviously Christmas special.
For sure.
So
Big
see you
ones.
guys next
All right.
time.
Happy Halloween.
Yes, for real.
Peace.
Thanks for the tea, man. This is really good.
Yeah, no problem. Sorry about the hazmat suit earlier. I was spraying some weeds outside.
Jackpot! Look at all this candy I found in the middle of the woods.
I thought you were gonna kill us.
No, I quit doing that years ago.